Okay. Okay, hello guys, how's everyone doing? Let me just post this on Twitter. We got the bank robber cosplay here again. Okay. Okay, okay, second here. Okay, is the stream working good? Okay. Hello guys, how you doing here? Okay. Hey, I'm doing good, guys. Okay. Did you guys get a notification for the stream? Let me just see right here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's no notification for the stream? Really? Huh. Well, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. Okay, hold on 1 second here. Okay, and let me just, Okay, there we go. That's good on the chat. Okay. Okay, 1 second here. Okay. Why are you wearing a mask? Oh, it's just part of my cosplay for, yeah, just part of my cosplay for it. Let me just turn off some of my notifications here, too. Okay. Hey, how's everyone doing? Okay, 1 second here, and let me just, Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to make sure a few things were working on my end here. Also, yeah, like, a lot of people just come into chat right now, so did you guys get a notification just now? Because it's like, the first few minutes people weren't getting notifications, and all of a sudden people got notifications. I guess. I will after the stream, Rasu. I just usually do it on weekends. I just been so busy with just a bunch of things, but, I will a little bit later. Okay, okay, can you guys help me with, just, 1 or 2 missions here, and then I can help whoever else needs help, I can help them. Yeah, this is kind of my bank robber attempt here. Yo, 2 things. Have you been to Los Angeles in real life? And I finally played Red Dead Redemption 2 or Red Dead Online last week for first time. It's honestly as much fun as GTA 5 and GTA Online. Well, thank you, Publix Chicken. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, it is a lot of fun, but I'll tell you something about it. The first few months that you play Red Dead Online, you're gonna have a lot of fun with, but once you do everything, there's not really gonna be much left to do. And that's unfortunately Rockstar abandoned the game. I just turned on YouTube and you were the options to watch because I'm a subscriber. Well, thank you for coming by. Okay, okay, everyone's in my... Okay.
Okay, here's the deal.
Polito Bay, but still it's not that bad of a mission. No, I haven't been to Los Angeles, no. Hey, Suspect 13, how are you, man? By the way, guys, I've been trying to turn on that gift memberships feature that people have been asking me for, but when I keep looking for it, the option just isn't there for me. I might have to just contact YouTube support about that. I know people have requested that. Do I like pickup trucks? Not really much of a truck guy. I don't hate trucks, but I'm just not interested in them. It's bot. Hey, Blinded Eagle, how are you, man? Hey, Eddie, thank you for the super chat. Thanks, man. At this rate, Rockstar might ruin a GTA 4 remaster. Okay, let's see if we can find that, switch. There it is. Okay. Okay, he's already got it. Okay, I'll just get back in the helicopter. Do I believe the Red Dead Remaster rumors? Probably true, yeah. I mean, we do know a game has been announced. Oh, no, come on, take off, take off. We know a game that the South Korean, you know, gaming board, they rated a game, so we do know that Red Dead game, so... I'm much better with helicopters than I am with planes. Okay, blow this up just so we can get the cargo out of it. Yeah, who won the lottery? I did. Thank you, Oliver, for the super chat. I remembered that from Fallout New Vegas. The thing about that is, the first time I remember him, he runs up to you. He's the guy who got spared by the Legion, and I just shot him afterwards. I remember that too. Okay, I didn't hear you then, Brandon, I guess. I can... Oh, great. Why did my plane have to spawn near this? Come on, seriously? Okay, I can help you source right after this, Brandon. It's not an issue. Come on, take off. Is that ski mask hot? No, I'm not really hot in this thing. If anything, it's more itchy. Okay. Well, I always say CEO and not organization. CEO is just a leader. Just what I'm just used to. It's I just say that. I got gold in Big Con. Well, I told James that I would help him with his heist today. So if James is not on, though, on PC, we can help you with your heist, but I told James I'd help him earlier at the end. You're so smart. Well, thank you. Do you know what character scared the crap out of me in Fallout New Vegas? I was exploring some old ruin, and I found, like, a blue star bottle cap. This is, like, when the game first came out. Oh, hey, Zach. The first time that you find a blue star bottle cap in Fallout New Vegas, there's, like, this random guy that, like, he'll just come up behind you. It doesn't matter, you know, where you are, where you find that blue star bottle cap. He'll come after, he'll go up right behind you, and he'll be like, hey, I don't collect those anymore, but you gotta watch out for it. Like, I forget the guy's name, but he was, the first time you pick up a blue star bottle cap, like, he would tell you, that guy scared the crap out of me. Okay, I can help you right after this, Brandon, here.
You coming in today? Yeah, access is approved.
Oh yeah, I like the realism and the dark setting in GTA 4. I would definitely agree with you, yeah. Thank you guys helping me to deliver that cargo. Would you say the Treaty of Versailles caused World War I? I personally wouldn't blame the treaty, just failure to enforce the treaty. Thank you for the super chat. Ultimately, ultimately, the people that caused World War II was Germany, Hitler. They were the ones who caused World War II. The Treaty of Versailles allowed Hitler to come to power because it gave Hitler something that he could blame all of Germany's problems on. But ultimately, it was Hitler who had started the war, and Germany was responsible in the end. But the Treaty of Versailles was, yeah, there was, both sides, I think, at the end of World War I should have probably taken equal responsibility and just helped to rebuild after the war, but that was a mistake. Okay. Well, Watch Dogs Legion is set in London. Let me help Brendan here. Brendan, invite me. Brandon sent an invite out. 2 minutes before I source more meds. Okay, we can wait. Hey, Freshnel, you're my favorite YouTuber. I don't understand why people make fun of you. You're a nice guy. Well, it's like I said on my tweet earlier today. People can make videos making fun of me. They can make fun of my face. They can make fun of my voice. I'm not gonna strike them for that. I'm a very big free speech guy. I believe in free speech a lot. I don't believe in censorship. And so, you know, people are free to make fun of me on their, you know, on their channels. I think it's more up to the viewers to decide. I think that the viewers, when they watch, like, a video making fun of me, I think the viewers should decide, what they think. Pro, when you hold L1, you can pick up snacks by pressing up arrow. Yeah, I know about that. Thank you, Razudo. What do you think of a naval DLC? I'd be fine with that. I think that'd be cool if we had, like, a naval business on the water. I would have no problem with that. That's a very healthy way to think, Pro. Don't let anyone else govern how you think or do. Thank you, man. That's harassment, not free speech. It would be more harassment if they came to my channel and were, like, bothering me. That would be more harassment. But if they're, like, you know, uploading videos on their channel of just, like, making fun of my face and my voice, I wouldn't really say that's harassment. That's more just being rude and being, you know, an a-hole. While you dressed up as a bank robber, I know you do cosplays. Why this outfit? I wanted to mix things up. The last few weeks I was dressed as a mercenary, and I decided to dress as a bank robber for the last 2 weeks. Greetings from Italia. Well, hello, Pier Luigi. Hey, man. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a Skyrim playthrough one day. Okay. Who would be the worst to work for, a mob or a cartel boss, and for what reason? Well, it depends on what mob. But ultimately, it'd be the cartel would be the worst ones to work for. The reason is because when you compare the Italian mafia in New York, for example, to the cartels, I'll tell you this about the mafia. I'm not a defender of the mafia. I want to make that clear. But if you compare the Italian mafia, for example, to the cartels, the Italian mafia are like angels compared to the cartels. Like, the mafia has limits. There's certain things they won't do. The cartel, on the other hand, they have no limits. You know, the cartel will brutalize people. They'll kill people with chainsaws. You know, mafia doesn't typically do stuff like that. So that's all I'll say is the mafia, as bad as they are, at least have some limits. The cartel has no limits. Okay. Do you see the smuggling business worth doing now? Yeah, it is. I'm working on a guide for it too now. Do you think there should be a game you play as a cartel member? I mean, Vice City Stories is the closest that you're going to get to that. I mean, you run a cartel in Scarface. Scarface is a cartel game. So that's, who are more brutal, Russian Mafia or cartel? I'd say even the cartel, yeah. But that's pretty close. Which Max Payne faction do you think is the most ruthless? Cleaner Company, PMC, Max Payne 2, Nicole Horn's PMC, or the Crusha Preto? Well, I don't know, JD, because I haven't played Max Payne 2, which I'm going to be doing a playthrough of. But I can tell you, though, the Crusha Preto are, you know, very, very evil. You know, they're very, very evil guys. Like, that human organs thing, my god, that was like, you know... Oh, and another thing is, in Max Payne, here's another creepy thing about Max Payne 3 that a lot of people actually don't realize. In Max Payne 3, it's never directly confirmed, but it's implied that Becker and Bachmeier, for example, you know, those two really corrupt cops, it's implied that they are actually descended from Nazis. Because think about it, Bachmeier and Becker, are those Brazilian names? Those are not Brazilian names at all, those are German names. And so a lot of Nazis actually went to South America at the end of World War II, and so a lot of people actually didn't realize that about Max Payne 3. Well, with Max Payne, they're basically implying that Becker and Bachmeier were descended from Nazis. They're two evil characters in Max Payne 3, by the way. Max Payne 3 was a very dark game. Who would win, Claude versus Dimitri versus Brad? Well, Brad would die first in that situation because Brad is pretty stupid. I would say probably Claude would ultimately win, yeah. Do you remember your teacher that... Lewis, are you talking about that teacher that gave me a 0? Is that what you're talking about? Max Payne is a good shooter, but sucks at saving people. He couldn't save his wife and daughter and the others in Max Payne 2 and Max Payne 3. Well, the thing about this is, pretty much everybody that died in Max Payne 3, that was not Max's fault. You know, Max did all he could. That really wasn't his fault. And so that was kind of the game that was showing you that there are things that are out of your control. There's things that you can't really do. So that's, I don't think that all the people that died in Max Payne 3, I don't think that was Max's fault. I'm still bummed at how Days Gone 2 was cancelled. Deacon, the story, and the setting were so cool. Sadly, it doesn't look good for a second game. I would really love a second game, but unfortunately they didn't do it. It really sucked. You know, the unfortunate thing is the Days Gone developer actually said we would have had Days Gone 2 by now if Sony didn't cancel it. Just got a driver's license. What first car do you recommend? Thank you, Fact. Well, first car is just something that you're comfortable with getting. You know, don't feel like you have to buy new. You can buy a used car. There's plenty of good used cars that you can buy. Just here's the thing I'll tell you. If you're buying a used car, make sure that you bring somebody that knows about cars when you're going to buy a used car. I'm sure you have like somebody in your family or like a friend that might know a bit more about cars than you do. Okay, so here. Okay, I guess we'll take my plane then. No, Claude is not the father of the GT Online character. That's more just an Easter egg. Tesla is too expensive. No, you know, nobody's, you know, very few people are going to buy a Tesla because they're just so much money. The most evil GTA antagonist, that would be, Dimitri in GTA 4. Yeah, Dimitri, I would say. Pro, what's your take on electric cars? My opinion? I'm not really against electric cars. However, though, I will tell you this. There are people that think electric cars are the solution to everything, and they're not. For example, one time I had a bit of an argument with this British guy that I met on Sniper Elite 4, and we were talking about this actually specific subject. This probably happened like a year ago, and what happened is, you know, this guy was telling me how, like, you know, all cars should be electric in the future, and I told him that, you know, my country where I live is a very different climate than your country, Britain. I said that in your country, you know, there might be, you know, cold winters too, but I said where I live in the Midwest, because I live in the upper Midwest, this is like the second coldest place in America, where I live, behind Alaska. You know, I guess you could argue Montana, Idaho, also kind of similar climate, but it's very, very cold where I live here, the point is. And in the winter time, there was one day in the winter time where it was minus 40 degrees. That's how cold it is. That's Fahrenheit. Minus 40 Fahrenheit. And so that's how cold it was one day in the wintertime. That's like a really rare day, really, really rare, where it'll get like that. It's not like that every day in the winter. Really cold days in the winter will typically be minus 20 here. But there was one day where it was actually minus 40. And what I'll say about this is that an electric car would not be able to handle that kind of situation. If you tried to drive electric cars in that type of environment, like here in the upper Midwest, the engines would just not do well. I'm not a car guy, I don't know that much about cars, but I can tell you that electric cars would not handle well in this cold climate here. You know, gasoline cars would handle much better, you know, in this type of environment. So I don't think that, so when I'm not necessarily against electric cars, but I just don't think, I think that there's certain places where gasoline cars will do much better than electric cars. And I think that that's something that people are not taking into account. And when people also say, you know, when the government says, oh, we'll have charging stations everywhere, the thing about this is, outside my town, the town that I live in the Midwest, right? Outside my town, you could drive for 30 miles and there will be no exits. Nothing for 30 miles. So you'll just be driving and driving and there'll just be like empty plains and there won't be any kind of town. No turns, nothing like that. Just a straight road. That's all it is. And there's no charging stations out here. None like that. The government would have to build them. So if somebody had an electric car out here, it would be a really bad idea if you had an electric car where I live. It would just not work well. Yeah, and I would agree with you too on that, Mark. So I'm not against, you know, electric cars. I'm just saying is, oh, I have to deliver it? I'm sorry. My bad. I just think that people don't take into account that there's a lot of different environments in the world. And I don't think that an electric car would, for example, work in, like, you know, the place that I live in. So I hope I answered your question on that. When's the scammer video coming out? Next week. There's a video, I pissed off a scammer, I trolled a scammer, I recorded the whole thing of me pissing off a scammer. I'm gonna put that up next week, it'll be funny. Yeah, the price to replace the battery is there too. And also, look, I know there's cheaper electric cars, but there's some electric cars that are really expensive. And it's like, you know, how are you gonna tell somebody they should spend, what, 30, 40 grand on, like, an electric car when they could just get a used car for $10,000? So that's like, so ultimately, people care ultimately about their bank accounts. They care about what's in their wallet. That's ultimately what people are gonna look for when they're gonna look for a car. Hi, Pro. Love your videos and watch your streams. Keep up the great work. How's your rental property going? My rental property is actually going good. I just got 2 new tenants. You know, or I should say, tenant family that came in. So that's okay. No one. Does anyone else here need help selling anything? If no one else here needs help selling anything, I will then, okay. Let's see, Rodriguez, let me invite Marcus, too, since he's right here, Thank you, Thomas, for that super chat. I'll tell you though, do you know what the biggest issue with getting people to drive electric cars is? The biggest issue with that is that people that live in the countryside almost all drive gasoline cars. You know, in the countryside, you're very rarely going to see an electric vehicle. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's very rare. In the cities, electric cars are much more common, especially in European cities. Now, if you look at actually what happened in France a few years ago, that's a perfect example of the divide between like cities and rural communities, because that yellow jacket protest that happened in France, the reason that whole thing happened was because you had people in the cities like Paris that basically passed a new tax on gasoline cars. Yes, and so a lot of people in Paris drove electric cars. And so they didn't care about a tax on gasoline cars. But what the French government didn't take into account was that most of the people that drive in the countryside drive gasoline cars. And people in the countryside make less money than people in the cities. And so when you're taxing gasoline, you know, that's really a tax on the poor when you really think about it, because it hurt the people in the French countryside. And that's why people got so angry, and there was all those protests because of that. Can you talk about that teacher that gave you 0% for your homework? Yes, sure. I've never forgotten about that.
Shit! I wonder who the hell's on to us. We gotta move, people.
What's your opinion on Revy and Black Lagoon? Well, Revy is not a psychopath, but she's... What I call Revy is I basically call Revy the female Trevor. That's pretty much what Revy is. Let's see here. Can you talk about that teacher that gave you 0%? Yes. So, I understand why you cosplay like this for videos, but it seems silly on stream. I mean, not really. I like to dress up. That's what I do on my channel. I dress up as different characters and stuff like that, different costumes. So, you know, it's one of the main things on my channel is I dress up. So that's, Okay, Brandon, let's see here, where's... Where is this cargo? Oh, I see one. I see both of them. Okay, they're right here. Oh, come on. Oh, what the? Come on, let me pick up the crate. Okay. Why is it not letting me pick up the crate? Pick up the crate. Shut up, Ron. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now, what I was talking about earlier is, one person asked me about the teacher that gave me a 0. I have never forgotten that, and, let me do this here also. One of my subscribers actually mentioned this. I completely forgot about this, but if you take off your mask, you should be able to, drop it down to 1 star. Does that work here? No, it doesn't right now. Oh, that kind of sucks. Okay. Sometimes it works. Okay. Okay. Biggest career opportunist in Max Payne 3. Oh, that'd be Victor Bronco. He's a massive scumbag. Oh, let's try to land this in the parking lot in Zancudo at least. Oh, come on. Okay. Yeah, the teacher thing. Okay, so let me say it. So, some people might have heard me tell this story before, but one person was asking me in the chat about it. So basically, in 8th grade, I had this class. In 8th grade, I moved to a new town. And the town that I moved to in 8th grade, it was a very different school than the school that I was used to. Very, very different. And what happened is, I had this one class, I think it was called Home Ec. That's Home Economics or whatever. I think that's what it was called, because at least that's how people described it to me. Because I don't remember the name of the class, but I think that's what it was. But the class was basically like a class that would basically, you'd research future careers, they would teach you how to cook, sew, things like that. And what happened is, the teacher that I had in that class was very unreasonable. And when she wanted me to type up an assignment. But the thing about this is, I had missed the first day of school, because I just moved in. And I came in the second day of school, I remember that. And she wanted me to type up this assignment. She gave us like an assignment that week, she wanted us to type it up. And I told her that we haven't gotten everything from the other house yet. I told her I don't have my computer, none of that is hooked up. I don't have access to the library, I don't have a library card here yet. I wasn't trying to get out of the assignment. I just told her, I can write up the whole assignment for you on loose leaf. Like, I have paper, my handwriting was good. My handwriting wasn't crap. I told her, I can write up the whole assignment for you. And she's like, no, you have to double space it, you have to type it up, and I told her, I don't have a computer, and she's like, that's your issue. I'm like, I don't have a computer. And so what ended up happening is, I still did the assignment, I literally hand-wrote the whole thing. And I wrote even more than I was supposed to. I tried to give it to my teacher, and she said to me, I'm not taking it. I'm like, I did the assignment. She's like, no, you didn't do the assignment. The assignment, you had to type it up. I'm like, but I literally wrote it. I told you I didn't have a computer. She's like, that's your responsibility. And I was like, oh, Jesus, that's at my point. Excuse my language, but that's literally what I was thinking at that point. It was like, this is ridiculous. This is getting me annoyed to hell. And so what happened is, she refused to take my assignment. I never handed it in. And what ended up happening is she gave me a 0. So she gave me a 0. I did the entire assignment. I did everything I was supposed to be doing. I just didn't type it up. And she gave me a 0. And I never forgot that, because I'm a very organized guy. I'm very organized in school and everything like that when I did go to school. And I never had a 0 before that. I never had a 0. That was the first time that I got a 0. And that literally made me feel like, that made me feel like crap. It was just stupid. But the story gets even worse. What happened is, that teacher actually ended up calling my mom. So she called my mom, and she said, your son did not complete the assignment. And I'm giving him a 0. So not only did she give me a 0, she also called my mom and told her that I didn't complete the assignment. But the thing is, I never got in trouble for that, because I told my mom about what had happened before she even called. I told her that she gave me a 0. My mom was really pissed off about that. And my mom tried to complain, but she wouldn't retract the 0. So that was, so I still got a 0. So that was, that's what really sucked about that whole thing. I never forgot that. That was like a stupid experience. Does anybody else need help with anything here? Oh crap! I forgot about this. That if you disband the CEO, that you're gonna. Yeah, I forgot about this. Was she an older teacher? Yes. A lot of people didn't like her though. Help Logan here. Hey Fernando. Oh, and I missed the super chat. I'm sorry. How's my favorite legit GTA online player doing? Hope things have been doing well. You're in good health and life's been good, professional. Thank you, DL Stone. It has been. I've been doing good. Thank you, man. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I am considering that. I am considering that my cat, but the thing about this is, people have asked me several times to turn on gift membership, but I can't figure out how to turn on gift memberships. Like, I watch numerous YouTube videos how to turn it on. I don't have that option, so I don't know, like, I'm gonna probably contact YouTube support and ask them, how can I turn on gift memberships? Send me an invite to your business, please. Nothing to look here, cops. Just a guy with a ski mask and running around with a submachine gun. Yep, just drive right past me. Okay, let's go to his business. Pro, why did Johnny rebuild the Lost Gang and move to Los Santos? It's unknown really exactly what happened. I think they should have just left Johnny's story off at the end of The Lost and Damned. Do you think public schools have faults? Yeah. I think there is faults to a degree in a public school. But here's the thing about this is, what I'll tell you about it is that the wonderful thing about America is that in America you have the freedom to choose what kind of education you want. A lot of other countries, they don't actually let you do that. So in America, you know, we might not have the highest test scores, you know, sure. There's other countries that do better educationally than us, but to me, that doesn't really matter to me. And the reason it doesn't matter to me, because while other countries might have higher test scores than us, in America you have the freedom of choice. That's what's the most important. And I personally think that is the most important thing, because in America you can choose what kind of education you want. You can choose, does my kid want to go to a public school? Should I, you know, homeschool my kid? Is private school? Or should I homeschool him? Should I send him to a private school? Should I send him to a religious school? And that's what's, I think, wonderful about America, is that you can choose what kind of education you get. What was the worst customer you encountered while you worked in retail? Thank you, Lucius. I had a guy in teacher. Every country has that option, bro. You would be surprised how many countries do not let you homeschool. You would be surprised on that. But a lot of European countries, I would not say they have the same freedom to choose education, like, one star here trying to get away from this. Oh no. This is not a good thing right now. healthcare in America isn't wonderful. Well, that I would agree with you on. Yes, you know, healthcare is a disaster in America. That I would agree with you on. Okay, here we go. You know, we don't do everything perfect. You know, there's things we can definitely improve on. Okay. I'm not saying every country, Mark, but you get what I'm saying. Is that in America, like, for example, in states, like, you know, in, you will have different states in America that have different education systems. And so, like, you know, what they teach in, like, a state like Alaska is going to be different than what they teach in, like, a state like New York. And the people in New York have the right to decide, you know, what their kids learn in school. And the people in Alaska have the right to decide, you know, what their kids in school learn in Alaska. And so that's why the American system is not federalized. The American education system isn't federalized for that reason. Because it goes against states' rights. And, you know, it's the belief that in America that every state is almost like its own country in a way, but it's united by the federal government. And so people in each state, you know, have the, you know, the option to choose what kind of education they have. So while we might not have, you know, the best, highest test scores, you know, we have the freedom of choice. That's, let me see here. What was the worst customer you encountered while you worked in retail? There was this customer that followed me out to my car once. That was, I would say, would be the worst one. They should have made the Angels of Death the enemy biker faction in GTA 5, not the Lost. Okay, so to answer your question, there was this customer, I remember, in retail years ago. And he comes into the store. This is like close to closing at 9 p.m. And he comes in. What does he do? He buys a pack of gum. He gets like $10 or $20 in change, back, cash back. And then he comes back maybe 5 minutes later. He says that the laundromat will not accept, you know, bills, and he needs quarters. So I gave him, like, you know, $10 for quarters. And what ends up happening is he comes back maybe like 10 minutes later, just screaming at me, yelling at me. And he says to me that that after he left the store, somebody prank called him. And he accused me of doing that. And I'm like, come on, really, dude? Why am I going to do that? And he was basically saying that because in the store that I worked at, you could provide your phone number to look up your card. Basically, that's what it was. There was a store card, and you could provide your phone number. And he, for some reason, thought that I prank called him when I didn't. And, you know, we literally forget the phone numbers that we put in, like after a minute or two. Because we put in so many phone numbers. So I don't remember that stuff. Neither would I prank call him. I don't have interest in that. And he basically says to me, I better not find out that you did it. And what ends up happening is the store closes, and when the store closes, that guy confronted me out my car. So he was like waiting outside, like literally by my car, confronted me. But what happened was my supervisor, her husband was there at the same time in the same parking lot. I don't know what would have happened if her husband wasn't there, because her husband was, you know, this really big, buff Swedish guy. And so he, you know, got in between me and him, and just basically, you know, said, you know, what's the problem here? And he's like saying that he possibly prank called me. You know, this guy probably prank called me. I'm like, no, I didn't. And then what ends up happening is he just basically, you know, my supervisor's husband, he tells me, you know, just get in your car and go. Just go, Patrick, go home. And, you know, and I just went home, and that was it. And I never saw that customer again. So I don't know what happened. You know, the customer was a little bit bigger than me, but my supervisor's husband was, you know, much bigger than that guy. So that was it. So, you know, at least, you know, he stood up for me and stopped that crazy customer, but that was just, you know, I don't know, like, you know, what the guy's problem was. Maybe he had some mental issues, but it was just, What do you think about the Chevy Silverado ZR224? The newest design looks great. I'm probably gonna get that car, if you know. I prefer gasoline cars, since, to be honest, it's only like 34 cents per liter here. Well, I don't know much about trucks. It's a truck, I'm assuming? I could look up the truck, but I don't know much about these vehicles, though, I'll tell you that. Yeah, it is a truck, but man, there's a few of them. 51 grand, 73 grand, oh yeah. You know, for me, just in my personal opinion, while I don't know about the features of the truck, I can tell you, I think that's way too much money to spend on a vehicle. That's just my personal opinion. You know, 50 grand to 70 grand on like a vehicle. You know, if you like it, that's fine, fact. But I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, I just think that that's just too much for a car. for still liking dead franchises. No, Mr. Waifu, you should like whatever game you like. It doesn't, you know, whatever game you like should be a game that you personally like. It shouldn't be based on somebody else's opinion. But you understand my position on that fact, Speaker? Thank you for the super chat, though, man. But that's just my view. Did the teacher get a bad public status for giving you a 0? I don't know if she got a bad public status. I don't know what ended up happening to her. She still ended up teaching, so that was Okay, let's go here. Fact Speaker, are you still here? Congratulations on 100% in Vice City Stories. Thank you, man. We hit 100% completion last night in Vice City Stories. Hi, Pearl. I love your content. It provides a sense of comfort and stress relief. Thanks for all you do. No problem, Lex. How many bad teachers have you gotten? A few. There was, yeah, I would say I got a few bad teachers. But, yeah, the worst teacher I ever had in 8th grade was that teacher I mentioned earlier, and then I had a really bad teacher in college once for a lab class. It's like 105 degrees outside, aren't you hot? Well, where I'm at, it's actually 80 degrees. But it's, no, I'm not hot. If the mask, I'll be honest, it's just itchy. That's all it is. It's itchy, but it doesn't make me hot. But here's what I will say. Wait here. I have, in the apartment that I live at, right? What the? Okay, that was weird. The apartment that I live at, I don't pay for electricity. The electricity is part of my rent. And so I can basically use the air conditioner as much as I want. I have like what's the thing called? Not the AC unit, the vents that like pump air through the apartment and it cools it down really quick. Forget what it's called. Central air, is that what it's called? I have that, and I can turn on the central air to whatever temperature that I like. I like 68 in my apartment, and so I can just keep using the air conditioner all day. I don't have to worry about electricity at all with that because it's in my rent. So that's nice deal you got there. Thank you. Can you breathe through your ski mask? Yeah, it's no problem. Yes, I understand that my dad bought my brother's about the same price to that car and told me he would buy me too. Okay. Well, if that's something that you like, that's something that you like, fact. But me personally, I'm just telling you, I couldn't spend that much money on a car. That's too much money on a car. It's okay, Casey. You don't have to apologize. Have you ever seen Pesky Blinders? Yeah, isn't that show about like the British Mafia? Isn't that show? That one, I think I know what you're talking about. Do you ever regret not becoming a cop? No. No, I don't. Because here's the thing, is I don't want to be a cop anymore, even though that's what I graduated in. Is because it's not worth it being a cop anymore. I don't really think so. It's just, the pay isn't that amazing. Well, it depends on the state, but the pay isn't that amazing typically. You do get somewhat good benefits, but this is for the benefits. But there's a lot of there's people in the public that really don't like cops, and they hate cops, and they make life as difficult as possible for cops. And this is the same thing with a lot of politicians too. Now look, I'm not ignorant. I know that there's, bad cops out there. I know there's, racist, scummy cops that shouldn't be cops, or they should be, in jail, depending on what they did. but most cops are just decent, fine people that just want to help their communities. But the media and the public makes it seem like every single cop is out to get you, and they make it seem like every single cop is this evil, horrible human being that wants to arrest you and put false charges on you, when that's not true. So it's, I would say that, like, I don't think it's personally worth being a cop, because when so many parts of the public just hate you, and it's just so much more difficult being a cop, no, I don't think it's worth it, personally. Pro, do you have a permanent scar from when your coworker dropped that thing on your foot? No, I don't, thankfully. You could be a detective, yes, but to be a detective, you would have to be a street cop, for a little bit. You know, you can't just become a detective. You miss Mega Man Legends? Yeah, I do, and I would consider doing Mega Man Legends 2 playthrough one day. Roberta in Black Lagoon, oh, she was a psycho. Yeah, I'll tell you something. The people who want to abolish the police would be begging for the police if they were abolished. That's what it was. You know what? I'll tell you guys something really stupid. There was this one story I read about. This one story that I read about many years ago. But basically, there was this guy who he was like a community activist. And this guy, he basically did not want the police to patrol his neighborhood anymore. He said, you know, the neighborhood doesn't want you here. We don't want you here in this community. And just basically told the police, don't patrol our neighborhoods anymore. We don't want you. And guess what happened when the police stopped patrolling his neighborhood? Crime shut up. It increased. And that same guy who said, we don't want the police in our neighborhood, after the police left, the second he walked out of his apartment building, he got jumped. And he had his wallet stolen. The second he walked out of his apartment building, like literally just the second he opened the door, there was somebody waiting for him, he got jumped, and his wallet got stolen. And what happened is that same guy blamed the police for that, for the crime increase. So that's how stupid people are. That they don't want the police, and then when the police leave, they blame the police for an increase in crime. So that's what I'll say is the guy didn't learn a lesson still in the end. So that was okay, anybody else need help, invite me. Bad Beat mission? I don't remember. Which one is that? Can you remind me? Waiting for an invite. If okay, let's help sophistry then. Yeah, I don't know why some people just hate me. You know, all I do is I just tell stories and I help people out and I make guides for people and lore videos. So I don't know what do you remember which country I am from, by the way? Well, I would say I know that you're not, well, what you said is you said liters. That's what I thought was weird. And in the US, we don't measure gasoline in liters, we measure it in gallons. And I'm pretty sure that, is America the only country that uses gallons? I think America is. So that's, yeah. So I don't know if I remember. What country are you from, Fact Speaker? And I'll see you, Mr. Waifu. Take care, man. Don't you sweat in this balaclava? No, it's just itchy, but no, I don't sweat. Yes, I will release an updated money guide. You gotta give me a little time, though, man, but I will release it. Oh, Kuwait. Oh, okay. mission where you fight enemies in the casino rooftop. Oh, that's the worst casino mission. Yeah, that one. The worst casino store mission, the rooftop one. That one sucks. There's like no cover and there's so many enemies. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Star Wars Outlaws. Can you send me an invite to the hangar, sophistry? Okay, let me see. Rodriguez needs to go there. What? How can I join his channel because I can't find the button to join or anything like that? It's not there? What? Do you guys see the join button on my channel? Is it still there? Could you tell me? One person says he doesn't see it anymore. Is it still there? Maybe one day, Lance Vance. Still there, okay. Okay, okay, some people are saying it's there, other people are saying it's not,
Okay.
Oh, okay, thank you, Fernando. He's saying if you don't see the button, it's because you can't purchase something through memberships. Okay. Oh, sorry, Timmy. Okay, let me, I wanted to say thanks, bro. I've been battling depression for a while, and your content makes me feel better. I just miss the old days when games were good most nowadays. I just watch anime and love it. Well, thank you, Phoenix. Oh, that's a career one. Complete bad beat without taking damage. Oh, yeah. I would say Tito's Partisans, but JD, but Tito's Partisans were still not as bad as, they were nowhere near as ruthless as the Nazis, for example. I mean, they still did bad things, sure, but they weren't, you know, yeah, the Nazis were just much more brutal than them. You could deliver 50 crates to this trailer truck? Yes, but that's for a hangar mission. Yes, but this is a bunker right now. Okay, half a mile left. we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Ron's thing should give you better options. It should let you choose the crate. Thank you, Lewis. I'm glad you enjoy my videos. What weapon is your most go for heists? Probably the assault shotgun. Yeah, assault shotgun, I'd say. Do you think Homelander could beat Albert Wesker? Well, isn't Homelander that evil superhero guy that was added to Modern Warfare recently? Now for Albert Wesker, I don't know what Homelander's powers are, but Wesker, you know, is just crazy. He can dodge bullets, just run around everywhere. It's his, you know, superhuman strength. Where's the other truck? Wait, where's the other truck?
The suspect's running north.
Oh, there it is. Okay, see it now. I told my worst experience earlier. There's a customer who followed me to my car once. Yeah, possibly I could do that. I could possibly do that, Phoenix. Dumbest GTA character in your opinion? Maybe OG Loke? You look like you're about to commit a crime in real life. No, I'm just cosplaying, just dressed up as the bank robber character here. I like the story in Cold War, I actually enjoyed it. No, I didn't play the Spider-Man games from Insomniac. I played Telltale's The Walking Dead's game. Yes, I have, but I only played Season 1 and 2. Why are you driving around aimlessly in this garage? Because if I leave, the helicopters are gonna go after me. I'm just waiting for, or the police. I'm just waiting for them to deliver the car, the truck. And, I watched The Walking Dead up until the point when Rick blew himself up, and that was pretty much it for me. I know he survived, but it was, What is the best way to prevent crime from happening, in your opinion? Well, it depends on the type of crime. But if you're just talking about just general reduction of crime, it would be having a strong and capable police force, having strict punishments, but also helping people get out of poverty. So helping people get out of poverty, helping people who are poor find good jobs where they can actually make a living. I think that would also definitely contribute, but also having a good and strong police force. So my policies to, you know, stop crime would be a mix of a bunch of things. If there was less poverty, there would be less crime. That is true. But here's the thing about this: is here's the thing about this is that even if you get rid of poverty, you're still gonna have some crime. But the thing about this is criminals are also encouraged by weak laws. When criminals see weak laws, they are when they are actually researching that harsh punishment does not actually deter crimes being committed. Well, what if I was to tell you that weak punishments do not deter crime either? What if I was to tell you that? Because here's the thing about this is, while look, if you have really strict punishments, sure, it might not necessarily deter a criminal from committing a crime. Well, think about it this way. If if somebody, tries to, let's just say that somebody, like, robs a store, right? And, they beat up the store owner, steal a bunch of money, steal thousands of dollars from him, and a robber like that gets 5 years in prison. Versus the same robber getting 10 years in prison. If you send him to 10 years in prison, he can't hurt somebody for an extra 5 years. So that's taking him away from society, and he can't hurt anybody else in that time. So that's another thing that you have to calculate in also, that it's that when people get put away for really harsh punishments, they can't hurt other people in that time. That's something that needs to be calculated too. But also, when you said that studies show that stricter punishments don't equal, don't necessarily reduce crime, okay, I would agree to an extent, but that's why you don't just need strict punishments. You also need some forms of rehabilitation, only for people that deserve it. There are certain unforgivable crimes that people commit, and those people don't deserve rehabilitation. These would be rape, murder, things like that. I don't think people deserve rehabilitation for that. I think they should be in prison for life. But then there's other things where people will fall into a bad crowd when they're young, maybe get involved with gang, do something stupid, and that shouldn't ruin their lives. They should obviously stay in prison and serve their sentence. But then when they get out of prison, I think we should try to help them find a job, try to help them reintegrate into society. I think that would be, things. So I think the solution to stopping crime is a combination of factors. Have strict punishments, have some rehabilitation, not for everyone, but only the people that deserve it, and also help people get out of poverty. If you do those three things, I think that you are gonna lower crime. But here's the thing: when you hear people say oftentimes that stricter punishments don't necessarily reduce crime, it's true to an extent. But here's the thing about this: weak punishments also increase crime. If you get a slap on the wrist for committing a crime is going to increase. It's going to skyrocket. I completely understand from a criminologist. I understand where you're coming from. So you get it. The solution. I studied criminology in school, so I'm in the same field as you. I'm not a criminologist, but I did study criminology too. But it's I have a bachelor's in law enforcement technology. But the solution is something in the middle. It's basically, the solution is to have something where you have strict punishments, some rehabilitation, but also helping programs where you help felons when they get out of prison to find a job so they don't reoffend, and you help people get out of poverty. But the thing about that is, you will have people who don't want to do either one. You will have people on the extreme left who think that the solution is to defund the police, when no, that's not the solution. That's just going to make things much worse. And then you have people on the right who basically think that stricter punishments is going to solve everything too. No, it's a combination of factors. It's a combination of stuff. What I will tell you though, that there are certain places, like for example, California and New York. New York is like one state that I'm from, for example. In New York, a lot of times the criminals for stealing, when criminals steal in New York, they get a slap on the wrist. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And the thing about this is, when criminals realize that, when they realize that they're just going to get a slap on the wrist for stealing, they're going to keep stealing. They're going to keep doing that. Like, for example, you hear these crazy stories in New York where you will have these criminals that get arrested 50 times. I'm not even exaggerating. Somebody's been in jail for 50 times and they keep getting released. It's like, how does somebody get arrested 50 times and that person is still on the streets? You gotta ask yourself, what the hell is the New York government doing when something like that happens? And so in New York right now, if you go into certain stores in the city, they lock up the ice cream. Like, imagine ice cream locked up that you need a key to open it. I'm not joking, because that's how out of control the shoplifting epidemic has gotten in New York. They literally lock up ice cream at this point now, because those people are just stealing everything. And so that's why I say, when you have weak laws that don't punish stuff like this and people are constantly getting released from jail, they're gonna keep doing it too. You know, think about it. Think about a child too. Like when there's a kid. If a kid knows that they're gonna get punished severely for something, or they're gonna get a slap on the wrist, they're gonna keep doing it. They're gonna keep doing that bad behavior. And so it's kind of the same thing too when you think about it too. So I think that, you know, somebody gets you know, if somebody steals, at that point it's their first offense. You know, have them, you know, them serve their sentence, and then, you know, they wanna afterwards when they get out of jail or prison, depending on what they did, okay, you know, they could try to reintegrate into society. But if they're doing it multiple times afterwards when they get out, just, I would say throw the book at them and literally just make it even stricter. Like, I would say double the punishment at that point, what they're gonna get. Because that's just ridiculous when they keep doing it over and over again. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody in California here. Is somebody in California in the chat here? But in California, there is like a law in California. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I do make mistakes. But in California, there's like a law. I think it's like if you steal like $950 worth of stuff or something like that, at that point it's a felony. And for people that don't know what the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony is, a misdemeanor basically means that you spend in jail. Jail is typically at a police station. So you're in jail for literally less than a year. And if you're a felon, you get sent to prison, which is much worse than jail, and you're there for at least a year. That's the difference between it. And so if somebody knows that it's not going to be a felony, and they can just steal like $900 worth of stuff, and then they're just going to, you know, try to walk out with that. And I'm telling you that when you have weak shoplifting laws like that, when you have weak shoplifting laws, do you know who that's gonna hurt the most in that type of situation? 949 is a misdemeanor, while 950 is a felony. Okay, yeah. So that's basically a slap on the wrist. So that's ridiculous. It's California. We're too lenient on certain crimes. Drug crimes you can get off without any jail time if they deem you sick. Well, my solution to the drug crimes, what I would do about the drug crimes, if I could create laws, what I would do about drugs is, when it comes to drugs like marijuana, for example, I would put that to a referendum, let the people decide if they want it legalized or not. When it comes to, you know, harder drugs, and when I say harder drugs, I'm talking about like meth, coke, heroin, you know, this poison, basically. That type of stuff should be made illegal. But what we should do is, let me try to get. Okay, I got it. What I would do. Oh, great! I got hit by a missile. Hi, Pro, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, Android. Happy birthday, man. Let me get out of here. Okay, did you get one too, Burp Bear? Okay, okay, so Blue Speeder, do you agree with a lot of what I'm saying? You say you study criminology too. But look, if I was in charge of drug laws, right? What I would do is I would make marijuana, I would make it a referendum. Let the people decide. If the people want it legalized, legalize it. If the people want it illegal, then make it illegal. But every referendum should be done by state, not federally. Because there are certain states where people don't want it legalized, and there's certain states where people want it legalized, so I think it should be up to the states. But when it comes to, you know, the really bad drugs, like, you know, meth, crack, you know, cocaine, heroin, you know, all that, you know, poison, that should be made illegal. And if you legalize that, it's gonna be a disaster, I'm telling you. It's gonna be really, really, really bad. What I would do is I would double the punishment for drug dealers. So literally increase the penalties for drug dealers. But when it comes to drug addicts, if somebody is caught with meth or coke, if they're a drug addict, if they're not a dealer, if they're not intending to distribute, what I would do at that point is I would give the drug addict two choices, but if I was the judge. And I would tell the drug addict, you can either go to rehab, we the government will pay for it, we'll help you get better, you can go through the rehab, you will not have a criminal record, and you can get out of the rehab, once you complete the rehab program, you'll be free, and your record will be gone. Or, if you don't want to go to rehab, we're going to send you to jail. That's what, honestly, I would do at that point. I would give the drug addict two choices. You either go to rehab, or you go to jail. Because at that point, you'll be giving them a choice. Do you want help? Do you want to get cleaned up? And if they want to get cleaned up, they'll go to rehab. If they don't want to get cleaned up, I say send them to jail at that point. So that's at that part, it's basically them saying, I don't want help, I just want to keep smoking. So that's what I would personally do. And I think if you did a system like that, where you would force the the addicts to either go to rehab or go to jail, I think a lot of people would actually take the rehab option, and they would probably do that. And I think that way you would help people get cleaned up, but also you would increase punishments on drug dealers. And I think that would personally probably fix a lot of drug crimes. That's just my view on it. Has a customer ever called the cops on you at work? Not on me, but they've called the cops on other customers that were really crazy in the store. Why send drug users to jail? I'm not saying to send drug users to jail. I'm saying the drug users who don't want help, send them to jail. Because like I told you, you can't force somebody to do rehab. You can't. It's ultimately up to them if they want help, if they want rehab. You know, the first rule is to admit that you have a drug problem. And if they are not willing to admit that they have a drug problem, then I would say send them to jail. If they do not want help, if they will not accept the rehab, then send them to jail. But if they want help, send them to rehab, help them get cleaned up, and take away their criminal record, so they won't have any kind of record. So at that point, you give the drug addicts a choice, and at that point, it's their own fault they're going to jail. You can't really blame the government because it's their own fault, because the government gave them two choices. You either go to rehab, we'll help you get cleaned up, and you won't have a record, or they go to jail. How long would you put them in jail for? I don't know. I guess that would be on a case-by-case basis. Has this person done this before? But I'm not a fan of sending drug addicts to jail. I don't think that's gonna work. What I'm saying is that if you offer somebody help, if you offer them help, and you say to them, we're gonna send you to rehab free of charge. You can go there, get cleaned up. You won't have a criminal record when you complete the rehab, and they still refuse to do that. I would say to send them to jail at that point, because that's basically them saying, oh, I want to keep smoking, I want to keep doing this. And when somebody's a drug addict. They are not, well, like I said, you can't force somebody to complete rehab. You can't do that. How is that going to work exactly? But when somebody's a drug addict, they are not just when somebody's a drug addict, they are not just a danger to themselves, but they are a danger to others. How so? The reason that drug addicts are such dangerous people is because when people are drug addicts, they're desperate. They want their fix. They want to be able to smoke their dope. And so what's going to basically happen is that person is going to be dependent on that drug. They're going to do everything to get that drug. All they're going to be thinking about is thinking about heroin, thinking about meth, thinking about coke, thinking about crack. And so that person is going to do anything to get money for their addiction, which includes committing crimes. So what's basically going to happen is if you have a bunch of criminals, they're going to start committing robberies. They're going to start committing burglaries so that they could basically satisfy their habit. Because that's a lot of burglaries people don't realize it's drug addicts. Drug addicts are huge numbers of people that break into houses are drug addicts because they're trying to look for money, look for jewelry stuff that they can sell just so that they can get money for their drugs. So that's why I say is that drug addicts are not just a danger to themselves, they're a danger to other people because they could commit crimes to try to get that, to get money for drugs. That's what a lot of people don't take into account. They don't take that into account. And so that's the thing is, every single time you have a neighborhood, whenever drugs get thrown into a neighborhood, the neighborhood gets much, much worse every time there's drugs in, because you're going to basically create a whole system of crimes. People are going to get addicted to drugs, they're going to commit robberies, they're going to commit burglaries to be able to get money for drugs. But not only that, you're going to have gangs who are going to start competing with each other over the drugs. And they're going to say, no, this is our territory, we sell drugs here, and they're going to start killing each other. And so that's why whenever drugs are introduced, it's just a giant mess. It just really complicates things and just makes everything just much worse. So that's what I say is that's ultimately my policy on drugs for people that want to know is I think that when it comes to marijuana, do it a referendum, let the people of each state decide what they want to do, and if they want it legalized or not. But when it comes to harder drugs, is just keep those illegal, increase punishments for drug dealers. For drug dealers, increase their punishments. But for people that are addicted to drugs, give them two choices. Tell them, do you want to go to rehab? We, the government, will pay for it. You get to go to rehab, and you won't have a criminal record when you complete it. And if they refuse to still go to rehab, if they refuse to go there, then send them to jail. That's what I would do at that point. So you're giving them two solutions. Question is, would you give the same treatment to Ashley in the Lost and Damned? My solution, well, I would send Ashley to jail, honestly, if I was the judge, because Ashley is not somebody who wants help. So that's what I would say is I would send her to jail. Thank you, Alex. And I missed a few comments. Have you noticed a lot of sound issues while playing GTA? I recently bought a PS5 for the last month, and I noticed that sound tends to blurry a lot of the time. Yeah, especially when there's explosions in the background. I have noticed that, yeah.
Crazy bird to Buckethead! Crazy bird to Buckethead! We have a big fat deuce of a problem, people.
Love the cosplay. Thank you, Caillou. I mean, do you guys agree with what I'm saying? That, when it comes to drug addicts, just give them a choice. Either they go to rehab, they complete the program, they get out, no record, and help them get cleaned up. But if they don't want to get cleaned up, just send them to jail. That's honestly what I would do.
We gotta get
First.
down there.
The problem with this is, I'll tell you, is what I'll tell you about this is that when I was in college, when I was a lot younger, before I studied drugs and I studied drug laws, I was very libertarian when I was in college, and I basically believed that the government shouldn't tell people what they should do to their bodies. When I got older, I was basically thinking to myself, I was like, marijuana is harmless, really, when you think about it. Sure, it might be annoying when people smoke pot, but it's really harmless. It's not comparable to like meth or coke. But like coke and meth, that's dangerous. That is. So like I wouldn't have a problem with marijuana necessarily being legalized, but when it comes to something like meth or coke, I don't know how anybody would want that legalized. You trust me, you don't want that legalized. That would just be it would just be a disaster. It would just not that. No, I don't agree. There should only be one choice, and that is rehab. Well, I mean, you're giving them a choice. You're giving them a choice. You're telling them, you want to get cleaned up or not. And if they don't want to get cleaned up, I would just say send them to jail. And I mean, this same exact thing happens in real life, not just with rehab, but there are certain programs that criminals can complete, and they won't be sent to jail. There are certain programs that criminals can complete, but sometimes criminals refuse to complete those programs, and so they get sent to jail. Like for example, a lot of times, like for smaller crimes, judge might issue community service. And criminals might refuse to do community service. If they refuse to do community service, you send them to jail. Just like, you can't force somebody to do rehab. They have to be willing to do rehab on their own. And that's why I say, if they don't want to do rehab, I would say just send them to jail. That would honestly be my perspective on that whole thing. But yeah, that's basically my perspective on crime. Well, I think the first step is admitting that you have a problem, Blue Speeder. I think that you have to admit that you have a problem. But people, I know it's not easy, but somebody might be addicted to drugs. They might be thinking about wanting to smoke drugs, but they should still be able to admit that they have a problem. And if they're not willing to admit that they have a problem, I think that that's a massive issue. Like, I mean, that's what Portugal does. That's what Portugal does. That's the thing is, though, is that a lot of people point to Portugal and they say, Portugal legalized drugs. Portugal never legalized drugs. What Portugal did instead is they decriminalized drug possession. So you in Portugal, if you're caught with coke or meth or something like that, the government is going to take the coke and the meth away from you. And they're going to tell you to complete rehab. They're going to do that. So they're not going to send you to jail for that. But when it comes to drug dealers in Portugal will get arrested. So that's what a lot of people say that falsely about Portugal. They say that all drugs are legal in Portugal. It's not true. It's I agree. I agree. You need people on the ground to look at it. But that's what I say is the first step is admitting that you have a problem. And like I know I'm bringing up a fictional character right now, but like just think about the character of Ashley in The Lost and Damned. Like, she's a massive meth addict, right? And she it's clearly all her fault. Sure, she's addicted to drugs. Sure, she has a really bad addiction, but it's ultimately her fault, everything that happened. That's all on her in the end. I know people who live on the streets near shelters that refuse to stay in the shelters because they're not allowed to do drugs in the shelter and would rather be out on the streets. Yeah, same as in New York. It's just like that. What if they go back to drugs after rehab? That's a good point. Well, I don't know. I guess we would have to think about what we do at that point. But I would say is, you know, stop arresting drug addicts, help them, you know, send them to rehab instead, force them to complete rehab. That's what I would say about drug addicts. But, Blue Speeder, you were the criminologist guy. That was you, right? Is the criminologist guy still here? That was you, right, Blue Speeder? But look, like I said, if you have weak laws, for a lot of crimes, like especially drug crimes, and you have weak laws for, like, shoplifting, you're gonna have an increase in drug crimes, and you're gonna have an increase in shoplifting. So, weak laws also will increase crime. They will. I remember that, I'll tell you something. I imagine that, why you wear that mask? Oh, I cosplay. I dress up as a lot of different characters. This week, I'm dressed up as a bank robber, so I cosplay as a lot of different characters a lot of times. Let's see here. Do you still need to do anything here, Sophistry? Are you the criminologist guy, Blue Speeder? Is he still here, or is that somebody else? I'll go to Richmond. Okay, let's see here. Where are you from? Brooklyn, New York. What do you think of cities like Portland or legalizing hard drugs? Also, do you like Password Plus Puzzle? I shared it with you on Twitter. I actually didn't get a chance to look at it, Mario, but I will look at it a little bit later. But, you know, what Portland is doing is a disaster. You know, no. That's not... The thing about this is my first tenants were actually from Portland. So I own a rental property here in the Midwest, and my first tenants, they were actually a family from Portland. And they actually told me about... Oh, I'm sorry, PC. They actually told me about how Portland is a really bad city to do business in, and they told me, because they run a roofing business, and they told me about how Portland is has a lot of crime, and especially the drugs. That's what they mentioned. The drug crime is bad in Portland. Pro, would you send hardcore drug addicts that have been addicted to drugs for years directly to jail, or give them a choice? I'd give them a choice. I'd tell them, look, I would be very nice to, I would probably be a lot nicer to drug addicts than a lot of other people would. And look, I get it, they're addicted to drugs, they are a victim in this too, in a way. But the state is, if under my policy, the state would be offering you a solution, a way to get clean, to get cleaned up. And if they're unwilling to take the state's help, when the state says, we'll help you get cleaned up, we'll send you to rehab, we'll pay for it, and you won't have a criminal record when you get out. If they would still refuse to do that, if they would refuse to go to rehab, at that point, I think the only thing you can do is send them to jail. Because you can't force somebody to complete rehab, but you can send somebody to jail. So that's what I would say, is that if they don't want help, the first step is admitting that you have a problem. If they don't want help, and they refuse to take the help, I would say to send them to jail at that point. I'm not in favor of sending drug addicts to jail. I would prefer to help them get rehabilitated and help them get off that poison. But if they are, but if they're unwilling to take help, I would say at that point punish them. So. I live in Portland, and they hand out needles, foils, and pipes to people. Oh my god, that's stupid. New York also had, like, safe smoking kits that they gave for crack pipes. It's one of the stupidest things ever when you have the government starts handing out, like, crack pipes. It's like, and the New York government's response to that was so stupid. They were like, oh, well, if they're gonna smoke crack, we want to make sure they smoke in, like, a healthy pipe. No, you don't want them to smoke crack at all. It's just, that's just so stupid. And for people that don't believe me, just look it up. Government handing out crack pipes. It actually happened. So that was just that's so stupid. It's like something you see on The Onion, like that fake news site. The government will hand out crack pipes. That's like something you hear on The Onion. It's so stupid. Let me see here. They give the clean pipes and needles so that drug users don't get diseases from using dirty needles. Since they don't have a program set up, send them to rehab all yet. Literally, when you give them needles and pipes, you're basically encouraging drug use at that point. Even if the government's intentions are for them just to be able to smoke cleanly, they're still killing themselves with that drug. As someone who has somebody who suffers from addiction, I agree with you, Pro. Thank you, Niccolo. And look, feel free to disagree with me. Feel free to argue with me, guys. I'm willing to hear other people's opinions. I'm not somebody who's like, refuses to change my mind on things. But it's just, yeah, have you ever thought about making your own game studio, making your own game? Maybe, but I would have nowhere near the funding. If I was to make a game, do you know what my game would be? I'll tell you what my game would be. I already have an idea for it. I would make an open world game, and I would set it in the 1920s, and I would set it in Chicago, not in yeah, I would set it in Chicago. Open world game in the 1920s, set in Chicago during Prohibition, and I would make it during the Mafia Wars. And I would create like fictional mafias and stuff like that would be based on the real mafias and stuff like that, but where you could like create a family and stuff like that, and smuggle alcohol, run like bootlegging warehouses, run speakeasies, stuff like that. That would be like mine, my kind of game if I made that. It would be a third-person game too. You have driving cars and stuff like that, and okay, let me help James here then. You're the greatest GTA Online player of all time. Thank you. I think your ideas might work, Pro. Rehab is taken seriously and as a striker. Certain rehab places just give you a pass for being there. Yep. Well, thank you, man. Hey, Pro, you missed my message. I'm sorry, Zach. Let me see here.
Get down! You piece of shit! I'm out! Gotta reload!
I live in Vancouver in Washington State, and Portland's right next door. I agree with you all the way. Well, thank you, man. And thank you, Pilot Man, for that super chat earlier, too. But, where is he here? And Blue Speeder, you were the guy, were you the guy who studied criminology? Was that you? Or was that someone else? I don't know if the criminology guy left, but it was, yeah. I just wanted to know his opinion on this stuff, but I think that's you, right? Can you invite me to the business, James? Oh, it's been you. Okay. Yeah, so the government should not be helping anyone take drugs. That's just stupid. And also, by that same logic, when like the government doesn't, so like the government's logic in that is that we want them to use safe needles. That's why we give them like, needles for heroin or, crack pipes. We want them to smoke in safe crack pipes. Well, what about people who get those crack pipes and aren't addicts but want to try crack? Now you've basically given them a free pipe that they can try crack on. And, hey, Pro, if you want to be known for one thing, what would it be? My brutal honesty. That's what it would be. Because I'm brutally honest with everything. Like, I don't hide anything. I'm just like how I am off camera, it's how I am on stream. There's really no difference. So, when I think something's stupid, I'll say something stupid. That's just, I'm just brutally honest. That's just, the government isn't giving out crack, though. How would they, use a crack pipe without crack? Well, they get a free crack pipe, and then they go buy crack. And now they don't have to buy a crack pipe from a dealer, too. So that's, thank you, Blue Speeder, for the, for sponsoring my channel. Are you a fan of Greek mythology? And if so, who is your favorite god, goddess? I don't know who I'm, well, Dark Viper isn't toxic. He's a pretty chill guy. I've talked to him. I've talked to Dark Viper AU off, off camera. He's actually a very nice guy. So that's, I don't know why you think he's toxic. He's a really nice guy. Melbourne, Australia has say, oh, that's dumb, Mario. I don't know why they would have that. Okay, let's, I'm gonna go drive over to the helicopters here. That'd be kind of weird, though, Adamo, and also, that'd be weird, but not only that, we would basically have, not only would it be weird, but it would be, advertisers infringing in the game. What? Jordan, is that true? Plus my bunker, okay. Hey, Super Mario, is it true that some police plant evidence on people who they know have done the crime, but they don't have evidence to prove it? Does this happen a lot in America? I don't know if it happens a lot, but yes, it has happened. I thought it was kind of crazy how, do you know basically that lightning bolts, people believed back in the day that lightning bolts, that they were basically being thrown from Zeus, and that he's just getting pissed off at something. Get a helicopter here. Hey, I've seen what? Wait, what have I seen? What? Somebody's asking me 20 times something. What? Would you rather GTA 6 be focused more on the online or the story mode? Honestly, in my opinion, if they focused the online, they should at least make a DLC for the single player, at least one. Basically, GTA 6 Vice City, because that's where it's gonna be, GTA 6 should have a story expansion. It should. Maybe bring a new character into the story expansion, like what GTA 4 did. Something like that. I would pay for a story DLC in GTA 6. Look, guys, here's what I'll tell you about this. And look, even though I have a lot of respect for law enforcement, there's some cops that are massive scumbags too. And what I'll say about this, if you ever encounter a scumbag cop, right? And that scumbag cop is violating your rights, don't resist. Just comply with whatever they're telling you to do. But then at that point, sue the hell out of them. Because if you don't comply, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know how that cop can react. So that's what I would recommend, is that, don't fight back against them, but at that point, just sue. Get a good lawyer and just sue the living hell out of them, you'll win, probably. So that's what I would say about that. If they, search your car illegally, for example, if they search your car and they, illegally, without a warrant, don't attempt to stop them, don't. And then just sue the hell out of them afterwards. Make sure you document everything. Yeah. That's fight in court, not on the streets. Yup, exactly. Perfect device there. Do you know that guy? I'm telling you right now, that guy I don't know if you guys saw. There was a clip a few weeks ago of that guy who got attacked at Walmart. Did anybody see that clip of the guy who got attacked at Walmart? There was a clip of this guy who got attacked. A cop attacked him at Walmart. Has anybody seen that clip by any chance here? Okay, there was a guy who got attacked at Walmart by a cop, and that guy is probably going to have a massive lawsuit. He's going to probably win a lot of money. Yeah, so people know. Okay, so basically what happened was, this guy went into Walmart. I think this happened in Kansas. It was a central state, I know that. I think it happened in Kansas. And this guy walked into Walmart, and he bought a frozen pizza. He paid for it. He didn't get a bag, but he paid for the pizza. He didn't steal it. It's confirmed he did pay for it. And what he did was, he was walking out of the store, and there just happened to be a cop there. And the cop was basically saying to him, "Do you have your receipt?" And the guy says, "I paid for this," and just walks away, walks past the cop. Cop literally starts getting aggressive with him, eventually throws him to the ground, and a bunch of other cops were pinning this guy down. And what happened is the guy's yelling at them, "I have a receipt right there." And what ends up happening is another person picks up the receipt. I'm telling you right now, that guy is gonna probably win a massive lawsuit against the police. That was really stupid. And literally, that cop was an absolute idiot for just, you know, being that aggressive with somebody over a $5 pizza for like that. That whole situation was just handled so terribly. It was just so stupid how that whole situation was handled. But look up on YouTube the clip. Just look it up on YouTube. Cop attacks man at Walmart for frozen pizza, and you'll see it. It only happened a few days ago. So it's maybe like a week or two ago, actually. But yeah. So yeah, look, I'll tell you though, there's good cops out there. I'm pro police, don't get me wrong. But then there's also, you know, really stupid cops that make the good cops look bad. The kid was stupid for not showing it first, but the cop did worse. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, the mess could have been avoided if the guy had just shown the receipt. But at the same time, what the cop did was way out of line. That was way out of line for that type of behavior. You know, if he showed the receipt, would probably never happen. But the cop's reaction to that, you know, you can't do something like that. You can't just throw somebody to the ground like that because they don't want to show you a receipt. So that's like, that was ridiculous. Brazil has actually very light crime laws, and what ends up happening is that criminals get out almost immediately and repeat their previous activities. Yeah, that's unfortunate, Fask. By the way, Fask, have you seen my SOCOM 2 videos? I posted one the other day. The chapter 2 in SOCOM actually takes place in Brazil. Have you seen the Brazil missions by any chance? Okay. Do cops deserve to get lighter sentences? No. No, everyone is equal under the law. It doesn't matter whether you're a cop, it doesn't matter whether you're rich, it doesn't matter whether you're a politician. The law applies to everyone. Pro, when you say document everything, do you mean like get your phone out and record? Sometimes, yeah, getting your phone out and recording would be a good thing, but if the cop is placing you under, if the cop basically tells you to put your hands behind your back that you're being detained, don't still keep filming them at that point. Maybe just shut off the video, or just drop the phone. But, like, do not, like, if they're trying to, you know, detain you, just take the detention, like, let them detain you, because you can sue them afterwards, you know, you can fight them in court, you know, don't try to resist that. But what better would happen is, if you encounter a scumbag cop, right, and that scumbag cop is trying to violate your rights, if you're being detained, if you have like a buddy that's with you, like if you have a buddy that's with you or like a family member, and they could record it, you know, they could record your whole arrest. That's what happened to the guy at Walmart, the guy with the pizza thing. His buddy recorded the whole thing, what happened of him getting tackled by the cop. That's how it all got on footage. So if you have like literally somebody like that's next to you that will record it, like if the cop's trying to detain you, just let them detain you, let them put you in cuffs. Because if you fight back against that, it's gonna be much worse, and then you don't know what the cop can do. You could get seriously hurt or worse. So at that point, I would just say, just, I know they're violating your rights. I'm not saying that, you know, that the cop's in the right, but just sue the hell out of them at court afterwards. That's what you want to do. Take it to court. Well, what are you asking me specifically about it, Viking? The only thing worse than a criminal is a corrupt cop. I would agree with you. Corrupt cops are actually the worst kinds of criminals out there. Honestly, if I was to make a deal with a mafia boss versus a corrupt cop, I would honestly trust the mafia boss to uphold their deal more than the corrupt cop. I honestly would. Because a corrupt cops are sworn to uphold the law. And if somebody's already corrupt in that, you know they're gonna screw you over. They're gonna backstab you. If a mafia boss, at least maybe they'll have some codes. Maybe they'll have some, they make a deal, maybe they'll keep it with you. Maybe not. But honestly, I would rather take my chances making a deal with a mafia boss than I would with a corrupt cop. Because the corrupt cop would screw you over, 100%. So that's, let's see here. Even a Russian mobster. Well, it depends on the mobster. I'm not saying to make any kind of deal with mobsters. I'm not saying to do that. You know, mobsters are horrible people. What I'm just saying is that mobsters are more likely to keep their word than corrupt cops. That's what I'll say about that. That's how bad corrupt cops are. That a mobster is more likely to not betray you than a corrupt cop. Yeah, invoke your Fifth Amendment rights, yeah. Oh, this bike isn't on the car websites anymore? It isn't? Johnny's bike was removed from the car website? I didn't even know about this. This was Johnny's bike and it was removed from the website. That's so stupid. Oh my god. Rockstar is just stupid as hell. Hey Pro, can you help me sell my business after? I could help you, Locke. There's also one other thing that I wanted to mention when it came to crime, that I think a lot of people missed, and that is vigilantism. Now, vigilantism, that's basically taking the law into your own hands. It's basically like Aiden Pierce in Watch Dogs. It's taking the law into your own hands, and you are going to have an increase in vigilantism when people are not being prosecuted. When the police aren't doing their jobs, vigilantism is going to go up. And also, if there's weak laws, vigilantism will probably go up too. You know, vigilantism is ultimately a bad thing because everybody has a different definition of what the law should be according to them, and you're going to have people breaking the law to try to uphold the law, and so you don't want to have that type of situation because it's be anarchy. But ultimately, vigilantism is going to rise if you have like weak laws and you have criminals that are not going to be punished. Somebody else is going to take the law into their own hands. And I remember that my professor when I was in college. And this is actually the same professor I studied criminology with, by the way. But let me see here. Blue Speeder. This is the same professor that I taught me criminology. When I was in college, he sent out an article, and the article he sent out, I don't know if this was if this ultimately became law in New York State. I would have to look it up whether it became a law in New York State. But it was a few years ago. He sent out this article, right, where basically, there was New York State was considering giving murderers 15 years. After 15 years, they could get paroled. So if you commit a murder in New York, according to this new law that was proposed, after 15 years, there's a chance you could get paroled. You might not get paroled. You might get paroled. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get out for 15 years, but you could possibly get paroled after 15 years. And that is honestly one of the stupidest things ever. You get a life sentence, and you could possibly be paroled after 15 years. You literally murdered somebody, took somebody's life, and then after 15 years, you could possibly get out. That's ridiculous. It's disgusting. That's a weak law. That's weakness in the law is exactly what that is. And what basically happened was my teacher sent an article to all of us. He emailed the entire class the article. And apparently, I was the only person in the class who read the article because it wasn't an assignment. He just sent it out to us just so we could read it. And nobody in the entire class read the article except me, which that's what my teacher said. But basically what happened is I replied to my teacher, and I emailed my teacher back, and I said to him that if this passes, that you're gonna have vigilantism is gonna rise. And my reasoning for that was because think about it this way. Imagine that your best friend is murdered, by some scumbag gangster like robs and murders your best friend, or murders like your brother or your sister. And then after 15 years, the parole board is like, oh yeah, he changed, he's a good person, now we're gonna give him parole. Imagine how that would make you feel, knowing that your best friend's killer, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father's killer, just got out after 15 years. I cannot imagine the rage that I would feel. I cannot imagine how anybody would feel in that. The system was failed, basically. It's failed. And at that point, that person's family member, that person's friends, might take the law into their own hands. And they might basically say that, the courts failed, they didn't put this guy away for life, now I'm going to take the law into my own hands, and they might hurt and kill that person when they get out of prison. And so that's what might happen. You might have an increase in vigilantism. What if they really did change? No, for somebody that commits murder, I don't think you should ever get out of prison. I don't care if they've changed. I don't care if they've changed and they found God or what else. I don't care. They don't deserve a second chance to get out in prison. They should stay in prison for the rest of their lives. They murdered somebody. They took somebody else's life away. That person is not going to be able to ever enjoy the rest of their life, so why should they? So that's the way I see it, is that I don't care if they've changed in prison. Murderers should stay in prison for life. Anybody who I don't know how anybody could honestly think that a murderer should get a second chance. That's my perspective on it. Maybe I know I'm sounding kind of harsh here, but that's just my perspective on it. What if it was justified? If it was justified, it's not murder. If it was justified, it's self-defense. It's not murder. Murder is basically when you plan to kill somebody, you kill somebody. That's what murder is. You plan to kill somebody, you killed somebody. If it's justified, then it's self-defense because you were defending yourself. That's not murder. What about manslaughter? It depends on the situation. Obviously, every single situation is different. Okay, let's drop this off here. And Locke, I'll help you with one of your sales right after this. Revenge killing. Well, here's the thing about this. What happens? Imagine that law happens in New York, right? Imagine that somebody kills somebody's best friend, right? And then what happens is that person gets out after 15 years. The parole board in New York basically says, oh, this person has changed. They're getting out of prison. And that person gets really pissed off. This person killed their best friend and got out, and they go and kill that person. What's going to happen to that person right now? Is that person going to get a life sentence? Are they going to get out for 15 years? That's where the part it gets complicated at that point. That's why you want to have strict punishments. You want to have strict punishments for this, so you don't have vigilantism, so you don't have stuff like that happen. That's what. I'll tell you. There was a case that happened in New York. This actually happened in New York City, and this happened like 15, 20 years ago, I think. It happened in the early 2000s, I believe, or the late 90s. But basically, what happened is there was this guy that would meet girls at bars, and this guy in New York, what he would do is he would tell the girls, "Oh, I'm a movie producer. You can be the star in my new movie. You look perfect for for the role." So you'd find random girls. He'd tell them that he's a movie producer. The guy's not a movie producer. He's a liar. He would take them back to his apartment, which basically he pretended was a studio. He had like cameras all around, but basically what he would do is he would tell the girls to pose, and the girls would pose, and he would take pictures of them, and he would tell them that they're modeling for him. And what the guy would then do at that point is he would take those pictures, he would then blackmail those girls, and he would tell them, unless you want me to put this on the internet, you pay me like $10,000 right now. And so he would do that to several women, like dozens and dozens of women. He would trick, he'd take pictures of them, and then he basically threatened to put those pictures of them that he took on the internet unless they paid him huge sums of money. And so, and not only that, this guy also, sexually assaulted several of these girls. So this guy was also a rapist. This guy was a vile human being. This guy was a horrible person. And what ended up happening is, one day, one of the girls who was a victim of the guy was crying at her house. And her boyfriend comes home, asks her, why are you crying? She tells him the whole story, how the guy pretended to be, a director and took pictures of her, and now he's blackmailing her. The boyfriend gets really pissed off, goes over to the guy's, studio and shoots and kills him. Now, the boyfriend, the guy had a secretary. The scumbag who was doing this, he had a secretary. The boyfriend walked right past the secretary, didn't hurt the secretary, didn't even touch the secretary, didn't hurt the secretary. He walked past her with a gun. He went in the guy's studio, he shot the guy, killed him, walked out past the secretary and left. And what happened is, now you have a very complicated situation. You have to decide, what do you do in that type of situation? What do you do? Because, did the guy commit murder? Technically, yes, because he planned it out, he went over there and he killed the guy. Now, the guy was a massive scumbag. There's no question about it. The guy was a horrible human being. This was, a really bad guy. But, now, what do you do in that type of situation? You had a guy who basically was defending his girlfriend who was getting blackmailed, and this guy had, sexually assaulted numerous girls, had, blackmailed them, and now this guy had killed the biggest scumbag. What do you do at that point? If you want to know how the case ended, the detectives basically told the guy, the detectives kind of lied to the guy, and they told the guy the jury would be sympathetic to you when they hear, when they hear about what you did. And the guy decided to admit to what he did, and what ends up happening is he got 11 years in prison. So the guy didn't get a life sentence, but he got 11 years. And I personally think that was too much. I don't think he should have gotten 11 years. I think that was way too much. So I'm not saying it was a good thing that he killed the guy, but you can understand why he killed the guy. The guy was an absolute scumbag. He was a horrible human being. And, this might sound messed up, but the world was a better place without him. Because he was sexually assaulted numerous women. He did horrible things to girls. And this guy killed him. So the guy who died was a horrible human being. So it was, was it murder? Yes. But it was very different. It wasn't just some cold-blooded random killing. Like, this guy was just, harassing and hurting so many women. If anything, I think the guy should have been put on probation. That's what probation. That's what I think he should have been on. There has to be some kind of punishment. There has to be something. But it's putting the guy 11 years in prison. No, what the boyfriend should have done is the boyfriend should have gone to the police with the girlfriend, and the police should have resolved the whole thing. But going to the guy's studio and shooting him, no, you can't do that. You can't take the law into your own hands. What is it here? Let me see. Let me see. See here. No. I don't believe that some murder is justified. I'm not saying what the guy did was right. I'm not saying what he did was right. He shouldn't have done that. The guy was a scumbag. The guy probably would have gotten life in prison for all the girls that he hurt. But I'm just saying is that he should not have gone to the guy's studio and shot and killed the guy. Because even though the guy was a scumbag, he was a horrible human being. You can't take the law into your own hands. You can't do that. Because if everybody can take the law into their own hands, we would have chaos. We would have absolute anarchy. So he should have just gone to the police. That's what I say. So he shouldn't have killed him. That's what I say about it. The guy was a terrible human being. I'm not defending the guy at all. I want to make that clear. And is the world a better place without that guy? Probably yeah, because the guy was a horrible person. I'm not trying to sound cruel or anything, but the guy was a horrible person. He hurt so many women. But at the same time, the boyfriend shouldn't have gone to the guy's, studio and shot and killed him. So that was, so that's what that's ultimately my perspective on it. I don't think the guy should have gotten punished, but I don't think he should have gotten 11 years. I think that was way too much. That was way too much. Well, it's not really self-defense because you go over to somebody's, studio and you shoot and kill them. if someone killed your own mother in your presence, you'd think different, or family member. Yeah, that is true. People, if somebody is the victim of a crime, if their family member got hurt or killed, then yes, they are going to, they're not going to be in a clear state of mind. They're going to see rage. Two wrongs don't make a right. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Is the guy still in prison? No, he got out. He got out, so he's not in prison anymore. Like I said, I don't think the boyfriend is a horrible person either. This was the first time he committed a crime. Yes, he did kill somebody, but the guy that he killed was a really, really horrible person. So that was that's ultimately my perspective on it. He shouldn't have done that. The boyfriend and the girlfriend should have both went to the police, and they should have told the police, this is what happened. This guy, you gotta do something about this guy. That's how it should have ended. But you can't go and take the law into your own hands. Locke, send me an invite to your business, by the way. I'll help you now. He killed a rapist. Yeah. And it's like I said, the world was probably a better place without that guy. But I'm not. I want to be clear. I'm not defending the guy. The guy was a horrible human being. I'm just saying you can't take the law into your own hands. That's all I'm saying about it. That's just my perspective on that. My father was killed in a drunk driver accident. The man who killed him only got 10 years. Meanwhile, my life has never been the same. I'm really sorry that happened to you, Squarish. And the courts have failed at that point. That guy should have gotten way more than that. I'm really sorry about that. All murders should be treated the same, despite your background. Well, look, it depends on the situation. Like I said, like this guy was like okay, then invite me to your bunker, James. This guy was like a horrible human being. He would sexually assault girls. He would blackmail girls all the time, and the boyfriend got pissed off that he did this to his girlfriend and went over and shot and killed him. This is very different than like somebody breaking into somebody's house, stealing all their stuff, and then executing them. It's very different if you compare two different killings like that. And so in that type, the guy who breaks into somebody's house and executes them after stealing their stuff should get life in prison. The guy who does something like that, like kills somebody who was committing crimes against his girlfriend, there should still be a punishment, but it should not be life. That's what I'll say about that. I don't remember the rapist's name. I remember I read the case a very long time ago, but it was it was a case that was like because I'm in an MC lock, I'll just help with this one sale, and then I'll help after that. But do you guys understand my perspective on that? I'm just saying that you just can't take the law into your own hands. That's all I'm saying about it. I think the courts also failed by I think the courts also failed by sending the guy 11 years in. I think his girl admitted to cheating on him. Why would he go take a life for her? Well, she wasn't cheating on him. She wasn't doing any of that. The girlfriend went to the guy's studio because he lied to her and told her that he was a director and that she was gonna get to model for him. That's not cheating. That's not The reason he killed the guy wasn't because he thought his girlfriend was cheating on him. The reason he killed the guy was because he was pissed off at what the guy did to his girlfriend. That's what he was pissed off for. Oh, I read your well, what do you mean, Will? I read your comment. Probably. Oh, I read your comment. Okay. But what was she doing at the bar with some other? I don't know. People are allowed to go to bars. That doesn't mean that they're gonna cheat. I would do the right thing, go to the police instead of killing. And you are 100% right on that, Space Face. You are 100% right on that. That is what they should have done. They should have just gone to the police. They should have gone to the police, and they should have, told the police, this guy did this, and let the police handle it. But the fact that the boyfriend went to the guy's studio, he shouldn't have done that. Like I said, it was a mistake. Yes, I do remember him, CT. My opinion on Ubisoft, well, Ubisoft is, that whole thing that Ubisoft was doing recently, where they were basically saying that you have 30 days to do, the play on your account would be deactivated. That's, yeah, that's a stupid policy. No, that doesn't mean that she was cheating, MJ. She was modeling. It doesn't mean that she's cheating. Exactly. You're 100% right on that, Blue Speeder. People don't go to police for a lot of situations like that because they feel like they're going to be judged. They feel like they're going to be shamed. Okay, let's get over here. Who are you talking about? The guy that died or the boyfriend, Brolo? But like basically the point that I'm making with this story that I told is that the law is very complicated. And you have to look at it on a case-by-case basis, and not every case is the same. And so, did that boyfriend deserve to get 11 years in prison for that? No. Did he still commit a crime? Did he still do the wrong thing? Yes. But it shouldn't have been 11 years. Congratulations on getting 100% advice to these stories. Thank you, man. Oh, okay, Brolo, yeah. Look, the guy was a massive sweet talker, and he was very charismatic. He would trick girls all the time into coming back to his studio and modeling for him. This girl felt comfortable telling her boyfriend about that. She wasn't trying to cheat on him. She literally thought that she was going to be a model in some magazine. That's why she modeled for him. And so he took advantage of that, took pictures, and then tried to blackmail her. And then the boyfriend got really pissed, went to the guy's, studio and shot and killed him. And that's, yeah, I would agree with you there, Blue Speeder. The law is hard to follow a lot of times. No, actually, Vito, the guy, I don't remember whether he raped her, but he did rape other girls. That was, so yeah, that story right there is very complicated. The ending of that story is very complicated. Because you then think to yourself, what do you do in the end? Like, do you punish the guy or not? Because if you don't punish him, then basically you're saying that anybody can take the law into their own hands. But then if you do punishment, what kind of punishment are you going to give him? Because he was just defending his girlfriend who had gotten, shamed, blackmailed by this guy. So that was, so ultimately it's a very, very complicated situation, and you have to think about what you're gonna do. I think the guy should have probably gotten probation. That's probably what I think. Probation, maybe like a year or two in jail, but, 11 years, no. I think that's way too much. question. What if the cops and don't believe the boyfriend, the girlfriend? Then the police have failed. The system has failed at that point. The cops have a duty to investigate. Car Hood in Mafia 3. Well, I didn't play Mafia 3 a lot, so I wouldn't know the answer to your question there. Oh wait, what is this? Oh, you're selling a smaller shipment. This is one of the rarest missions in the game that you can get. This is a very rare mission. This mission doesn't spawn a lot. Okay, and Locke, after this, I'm gonna go and help James with his heist. James, can you get your heist ready? And I'll help you with your heist right after this. This is a very rare cell mission. People very rarely see this mission. No, it's not a bad mission. This mission is actually easy. You got a crime story for me? What is that, Phoenix? Pro, you religious? No, I'm an agnostic. Yeah, but James, just get your heist ready and I'll help you right after this. What's your solution to gangs who murder each other? Oh, and in Japan, there's a woman who was killed by 3 men from the dark web over money. The next day, one of the men breaks and confesses why, because Japan has a death penalty, so the other two men died. The dark web over well, how did this happen? They were trying to rob her? What? I'm a bit confused by your story. What the? How does a truck like this get flipped over by a small bike like that? That physics makes no sense. My solution on gangs who kill each other. I would say just probably increase punishments. I don't know, because you would have to bring down the gang. The entire gang, you'd have to bring it down and bring down its leadership. No problem. Pro, do you believe that people like Michael Franchise deserve a second chance at life? I know exactly who you're talking about. You're talking about the guy, he was a capo in the Gambino family. Yes, you're talking about him. What I'll say about Michael Franchise is Michael Franchise, does he deserve a second chance in life? I would say so, probably. Michael Franchise, to me, seems like he has changed a lot. He does regret a lot of the stuff that he does, and he does seem sincere in his videos. What I will say, though, is that do you know what the one thing that Michael Franchise isn't telling you, though? Michael Franchise has killed people before. That's the one thing he's not telling you, because if you look at how he answers those questions, when he was asked, has he killed anybody before, he's been asked that question, and the way he answered that question, it was obvious to me that he killed somebody. Like, he was very evasive on how he answered that question, but if Michael Franchise has killed somebody, I highly doubt that it's an innocent person. It's probably some other person that was involved in the Mafia, some other gangster criminal. So Mafia doesn't typically kill innocent people, so it's probably somebody else that was from another gang or something like that. So I do think that he does deserve a second chance at life. He does seem like he's sorry. Michael Franchise also has a pretty messed up family. His own father put out a hit on him, so he does have a pretty messed up family. So it does seem to me like he does want to change and does want to get his act together. So yeah, I would say that Michael Franchise deserves a second chance at life. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okay, James, are you gonna invite me? They were choosing their target. They robbed her for they wanted money from the ATM, and she gave them the code, but they were so dumb they forgot the code. Can you believe that? What? And they killed they killed this woman, you said, and they got the death penalty? The thing about somebody like Michael Franchise is, Michael Franchise in a way is also a victim. I'm not denying that he did horrible things when he was a capo in the Gambino family, but the reason I say he's also a victim is because Michael Franchise grew up in a Mafia family, so he grew up in that environment, so he fell in with a bad crowd. So if he never grew up in that environment, he maybe would have been a much better person in life. But it doesn't excuse the stuff he did, obviously. He has to take responsibility for it. But it does seem like he's taking responsibility right now, and it does seem like he's sorry. So I would say yes, I would give Michael Franchise a second chance at life. I think he does deserve it. He does seem like a nice guy. However, though, I'll tell you though, if I was Michael Franchise, I would be really paranoid. If I was Michael Franchise, I would constantly be looking over my shoulder. I'll be very careful where I go, because the Mafia never forgets. They never do. They don't care if 20, 30 years have passed. They never forget. And so, I would honestly, if I was him, I'd be looking over my shoulder constantly, because I'm telling you, there's people out to get him. There are. He's been in the Mafia for many years. He knows exactly how it works. He knows their tricks, so he knows where to be careful. But he has to look over his shoulder for the rest of his life. Should Stanley the Bull still be in prison? I don't know that guy. Can you explain to me what he did? What about Kim Jong-un? Kim Jong-un deserves a death penalty. Someone stole my import-export car last night. I proceeded to kill the player over and over again. Yeah, well, I'll tell you a funny story about that, Mario. When import-export first came out, I was stealing a top-range car, and some idiot stole my car, and he drove it to the police station. And then he sent me a message saying, haha, I stole your car. This is before my YouTube channel even literally got big. And I literally replied to him, I got him really pissed off, and I'm like, you idiot. Instead of taking it to the police station for like $5,000, you could have just taken it back to your import-export garage and kept $100,000. I'm like, you're an idiot. Do Mafia still exist? Oh, yes, they do. Hey, man, huge fan of the channel. I'm torn between the B11 and the RH-1 Hunter. Which one should I take? Hunter will be more useful to you. Yes, Hunter will help you on a lot more missions. Hunter, I'd go for. Hunter. And Hunter's faster than the B11 too, I think. James, can you invite me again? The invite's closed. Invite me again. Thank you, Quit, ZX. Do you know about Danish history? Like how Danes conquered parts of England. Have you ever considered making a Discord server for the community? I used to use Discord, but I stopped because Discord was like, I just didn't really have that much time for it. So I just kind of stopped using it too. Yeah. Let me see here. And about the Danish history here. Danes did conquer New York, or they colonized New York. Yeah, they did. So they conquered New York some time ago, and then the British conquered New York from them. So that was the Danes were the Danes were here in New York. Well, there was the Native American tribes first, and then there was the Danes, and then the British afterwards came in. So I do know a little bit about that. Okay, I'm ready whenever you are here. James, you have gold in this? What is the target?
Hey Pat, I got a question for you.
What's that?
So, I was talking with PC a little bit earlier, but what would you think who would play more? A game that gets multiple updates a year, or a game that gets 2 updates a year?
A game that gets multiple updates a year?
That's what I was trying to tell him. Because Call of Duty and everything is going to get more people playing it because it gets multiple updates. GTA, on the other hand, gets 2 updates a year.
I could another day, Justin. I just gonna be eating. I'm gonna have something to eat after this. James, what's the target artwork? James, do you have power drills on this? James? James, do you have power drills?
No, I do not.
Go and buy the power drills right now, because if we have 4 people, we're gonna have minutes to spare on the on this, because artwork can be done with just 2 people. 4 people is just too much.
That's what I try and do is me and you.
If okay, well, James, if you want to do it me and you, then you got to restart the heist though, because there's too many people in here right now. If you, I mean, Rodriguez and Melon, are you guys okay with leaving then?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. But look, James, if you want to do it with 4 people, that's fine. But if you're gonna do it with 4 people, get the power drills. Get that so we can start drilling boxes too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll also get the power drills like you and Pat, you know, the artwork.
So what are you gonna do, James? Are you gonna do it just me and you, or are you gonna do it with 4 people and get the power drills? It's up to you. It's your heist.
I'm gonna go buy the power drill.
Okay, then back out of this and go buy the power drills and then invite all of us again. Okay. Okay. Can we hear the party chat, pro? Sure. Hold on a second. Plug in my mic here. Hold on. Did I do a good job in the bank robber outfit today, by the way, guys? Okay, let me see here. Do I know who John Alti is? He was a hitman for the Gambino family. No, I don't know who that was.
This ain't happening.
Okay, and just... Well, or James, you could just buy it. That would just be... We would make more money back stealing anyways, then, but it's up to you. Do you know who Larry Lawton is? Yes, the jewelry store thief. Yes, I know about him. What about vigilantes that do not kill people? Well, vigilantism is still wrong. But what I will say is that... because the reason vigilantism is wrong is because everyone is going to have a different definition of what... Everyone's going to have a different definition of what the law should be. And so that's why it's going to be anarchy. It's going to be chaos. Oh, okay, Phoenix. Yeah, well, a lot of criminals do fear the death penalty. That is true. Yeah, I remember that too. Yes. What other ideas do you have for a game like managing like these businesses? You know, bootlegging businesses, like, you know, stealing alcohol. This is the 1920s when alcohol would be illegal during my Prohibition game. If I was to make one. Yes, I do, Razu. James, what's going on here? Are you gonna... I could, Vito. Hey, Jay Savage. James, are you here? What's going on? I'm just waiting for an invite, guys. He's gonna invite me to the heist. I'm just waiting. Oh, because people sometimes upload videos making fun of me and my, that people sometimes make fun of me and my voice and my face. It's actually not why I'm wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask because of the, because I'm cosplaying as the bank robber. But it's, look, here's what I'll tell you. The people who make fun of me and, like, make fun of my voice and, you know, they edit clips to make it seem like I said something that I didn't say, what I'll say about those people are just idiots. And, they have the freedom to do that. I believe in freedom of speech. I'm a very big free speech guy. I don't believe in censorship, so I'm not going to strike their channels. Even though I could, I'm not going to do that. I don't believe in censorship. So for me, you know, they can do what they want to do on their channels. I think it should be up to the viewers. The viewers should decide, and the viewers should basically watch the video and be like, wow, this guy's an idiot, and just decide on their own. Yeah, that's what I'll just say about it. Oh, he's doing the power drill mission. I think that's what happened. You're a good soul, Pro. Thank you, Mustang. I don't know why people are so rude. You don't bother anyone. You're so genuine and nice. Thank you. Yeah, I don't cause drama. I hate drama. I don't harass anyone. It's just, you know, all I want to do is just want to make guides for you guys, make entertaining streams, talking about things, all I do is I help people on streams. I mean, like, I only had, like, 1 or 2 missions people help me with my crates, but the vast majority of my stream, I help people sell. I don't even do stuff in my own business. And I just, and they just, you know, people still look for a problem with me. I don't understand that. I know, Dragon. Oh, that's gonna be next week, Matthew. I'm gonna be posting that. Okay, we're waiting for James. Hey, Professional, what do you think about parents embarrassing their kids on the internet as punishment? That's cruel. And parents should be... If a parent does that to their kid, where they embarrass their kid on the internet publicly, that's shame. They should not be doing that. Bro, don't let anybody get you down no matter what. You keep your head up and smile on your face. Thank you, man. Would I ever collaborate with Joker? You mean the GTA YouTuber? James, where are you? I'm just waiting for the invite. James? I'm just waiting for his invite. Yeah, I would, Drifter. You're a real pro. You're a really great YouTuber. I think you're the best, nicest personality on this platform, man. I love your videos. Keep it up. Thank you, Camille. Are you from Poland by any chance? Camille Rudzinski? That seems like a Polish name. You help viewers sell all the time, Gus. He's doing the power drills mission. I'm just waiting for the invite, guys. It'll be another minute or two here. YouTube turned off my notifications for your channel. Oh, well, that's stupid. I don't know why. It was weird because earlier people were not getting notifications. They actually were coming in the stream and saying they didn't get notifications. Pro, please excuse James. Oh, okay. I'll just wait for him. Is he almost done, Fernando? I'm just waiting for him. Rechange name tag username is now Lendon Speed. Oh, okay. Okay. Are you JD? That's you? Okay. Okay. James, did you do the mission before?
He did the mission, yes. He just wrapped it up.
Okay, well, James, you could have just bought it, but it's okay.
I know. We were kind of making jokes. He was Mr. Krabs being cheap. And now Fernando's calling James El Nubio Sr. Hey, Fernando, if you're watching, that's what I'm calling DHC from now on.
Is anyone else joining this, or are we just doing it us three? I mean, we could do the heist of us three, and we could get the paintings and still get the drill boxes with 3 people, but it's up to James.
Me and Rodriguez will do the drills, and you guys get the paintings. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Well, okay. I mean, we could Okay. Oh well. If we're gonna get somebody in here, let's get Rodriguez because it's not fair to Rodriguez because he was here first.
Yeah. I think you sent an invite to everyone, and someone must have got to it first.
Rodriguez, can you join back? Pierston, are you here? Pierston?
He's in party chat right now.
Okay, well, no, James, what happened?
I'm gonna go to party chat real quick and get him in here.
Well, the heist just started.
Yeah, it just did.
James, are you here?
I think he's still in party chat.
Okay, well, it's ultimately his heist, but I just feel bad for Rodriguez. Does Rodriguez want to join? Does he care? Melon, go in the party and just ask Rodriguez whether he wants to join this or he doesn't care. Just ask him, please. I don't think you can get the diamonds in the heist anymore.
No, that's only weekly events.
Well, no. James is just not in the party. Is not in the chat right now. So it's just don't blame him, guys.
I just wrote up a party chat. He's in game chat right now, just not saying anything. Yeah, there he is.
James, are you here?
James.
James.
Oh.
James, you know we had Rodriguez in here earlier though.
Yeah, I just find him on my friends, but I couldn't find him.
Okay, can somebody just ask Rodriguez really quickly if he wants to join back? If he doesn't want to join back, we'll just start it.
Yeah, I will.
Just ask it because I don't want to be unfair to Rodriguez.
PC needs to back out.
Wait, don't back out yet. We're just gonna wait to see if Rodriguez doesn't want to join, then we'll just start it the way it is here. We'll just see what Rodriguez says.
Yeah, I'm here. Change. I'm here. It's my.
Okay, so Rodriguez says yeah, he wants back in.
Okay, can you leave then, Pierston? I'm sorry, this Rodriguez was here before you.
He has a quick job. That was back to anything, so.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. Later.
It's fine.
Okay, see ya. Okay, we're just waiting for his invite now. Okay, I'm just waiting for James's invite here. Yeah, I'm kind of hungry myself right now, Phoenix. What are you people screaming at? I'm just firing an open atomizer. It's just... And these people will scream over anything. What does that mean, Swami? What is that? The reason I actually like a lot of Asian soup, and the reason I like Asian soup is because Asian soup is pretty spicy, a lot of them that I've eaten. That's what I like about them. Okay, and this
Pat.
Rodriguez, that's who we want to join. Don't start until Rodriguez is here.
Yeah, let me send an invite to him. Never mind, I won't let him invite.
Yeah, invite him to you, Balance.
I can give it a try, but it's either
it
off
doesn't
current
work.
session or from friends. There's a little glitch right now where you can't
I saw
really
your Far Cry
take
6
in all the
walkthrough.
people
What the
from a
hell did
current
that
session.
NPC run over 2 people on the road? Don't know if I remembered that one. That was nearly 2 years ago when I did that
Okay,
playthrough.
this is like this. There's your name right there. Sending
And
invite
just
now.
send Rodriguez an invite. We'll start this right now.
Yep, doing it right now. So, Fernando was saying you're gonna have sheep tacos for dinner.
Huh.
Yeah.
The famous sheep tacos. Fern, you gotta show me what a sheep taco is or something.
Oh my
man.
God, dude.
There we go. We got it.
There you go, Rodriguez.
Oh my God.
There we go, he's in.
Alright, let's do it now.
Turn green.
Well, you wait for you. It says joining still. Hang on. Wait for that little thing to hit green. There we go.
Okay, sorry I haven't been reading chat, guys. I've just been, we're just trying to get this heist started.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties
Michael's
at the
question
moment.
about Pizza Hut, what? My favorite Pizza Hut order?
Huh?
I'll just have pepperoni pizza, that's it. Nothing, there's nothing crazy, just that.
Pat, someone asked earlier, what do you prefer, Domino's or Papa John's?
Wait, wait, who, Lendon, what? Oh, yeah. I mean, guys, if you could avoid, dropping any F-bombs, too, during the heist. Okay, let's do it then. Ready whenever you are. I'm ready. Yeah, but honestly, I prefer Domino's over Pizza Hut. Whose mic is that in the background? I just hear a lot of background noise. Someone's mic. Could you turn that off? There's this...
Yeah, TV's off.
Whose background mic is that? Rodriguez, was that your mic?
Everything's turned down.
James, is that your TV that's playing all that background noise?
No, I had radio going in the background too.
Can you turn it off, please? We just all need to be communicating during the heist. Just somebody's playing the stream in the background. Just because please just mute it or.
This may have been mine. It's me.
James, is that your mic?
Oh, but in case there's like any background noise from my controller, I'm just gonna turn off my vibration. I'm gonna turn off the vibration.
Wait, that's yours,
of my
Rodriguez?
controller.
Kids putting on their uniforms for their first day at school.
Yeah.
Only I don't have kids. Just some pretty basic AI experiments that swear at me in Russian and want to destroy the
Everyone's
world.
real picky today, aren't they?
We all love it our own ways. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Let's rob this thing.
James, is that your mic that's doing that? I'm sorry, you have to turn that off if that is your mic. Hey Pat, you should review Sheep Tacos with Fernando. You'll be a twin of the report of the week. Review Bob. Thank you, Zombfected Gaming. Thanks, Michael.
You're going the wrong way.
No. This, I don't know why. I don't know why I don't question it, but that just works. I don't know why. That just works. Don't question it.
I'm not the only one that just saw that, did I?
Yeah. James, please, if you don't turn that off, I'm gonna have to mute you. There's a lot of background noise coming from your mic.
Now play it cool. You're doing your usual day-to-day delivery job. You've done this 1,000 times.
Okay.
You're earlier than expected.
I'm driving.
Check your VI number. Chip delivery, huh? Sure.
Oh, Swami means my country. Oh, well.
You can take the elevator upstairs down to the vault.
About that is, I knew that, Swami, I know, was a Finnish submachine gun during World War II. I know that.
Okay, now get in the elevator and remember, inconspicuous.
I'll add those, yes. I'll add them, today, King Caboose. I'll add the Vice City Stories stream to the Vice City, Stories playlist.
Next security check's coming up. You can do this. You keep her cool.
Yes, he was Walker.
Right up ahead. Y'all here for the vault, yeah? Alright, you're gonna
Ready.
need key cards to get into the man trap.
Okay, do it.
2-card system. Swipe at the same time.
Yes! Come on! How much better does it feel when the marks are this dumb?
Pat's the only one wearing white, everyone else is wearing green.
Okay.
Okay, so far so bueno. Push on to the vault. There'll be a guard there to meet you.
Oh, you're here. Why didn't they say something? Man, they never tell me nothing, you know? I'll get it open for you. Okay. Oh, that's a heavy door. Ain't much getting through here. There.
Okay. I'm getting everything on the left.
Hey, that art looks expensive to me. Let's give it a new home. Good news. Seeing as we stayed under the radar, we have a little more time here. Now, your hacker can block the security sensors while you're in the vault, but only for a while. If the system goes quiet for too long, it triggers the alarm as a failsafe. And, did I mention that if the alarm goes off in here...
Wait, what was Rude for?
Nerve agent? No? Okay, well, I'm mentioning it now. If you're making good time in there, try getting into some of the lock boxes.
Okay. So many locked doors here. Okay.
There's that one, there's that one.
Two minutes on the clock.
Yep.
There we go. People getting the paintings also?
I'm getting them, pro.
Okay. Okay.
1 minute.
Okay. Yes.
You almost got it, James?
Yeah, I got the. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
40
Oh, yeah, we're...
seconds.
No, we're not gonna get the other two paintings.
Better make it quickly.
No, it's too late. It's already
30
done.
seconds.
We gotta get out.
Yep. No, yep, this one.
It's
This
just,
one's done.
people, we should have just been going for paintings at the start, not just drilling though.
20 seconds left. Don't dawdle.
Make it this painting, get out of here.
You're not gonna
Get the
make
painting
it,
out of here.
James.
Perfect.
You're
Now
not.
Get out
No,
before the
no,
nerve
wait.
agent.
Yeah.
gas incoming. 10 seconds. Time's up. Here comes the nerve agent. Get the hell out of there before you get a long fall.
Okay.
Still under the radar.
Okay.
Perfect.
I don't know how to do a hacking, Fernando.
Hey, Rodriguez, let me know.
We cleaned him out. Okay, let's see if we can
Wait.
make the way out.
Now.
Did it do it?
The way in.
Ah, damn it.
Cards ready.
No, come on.
It did give me the animation. Alright, ready now.
Alright, go.
Did it work?
Alright, opening. Bounce.
All right, now stay calm. Back the way you came, through the checkpoint. Nothing to see here.
Hey, listen, that fella on the vault door, how'd he look? We snuck a double strength laxative in his coffee. He'll be shitting slurry in his britches by now.
All right,
Oh.
thanks, y'all.
Get in the cargo elevator and use your key card. Play it cool.
Okay, here we go.
Back the way we came is
Yeah,
too
I mean,
risky
they
now
did
that
it.
you're carrying the loot. Let's fall back to the rear door. Okay, I need you to stay calm. They've seen what you did to the vault, and now the whole place is locking down fast. They know you're still in the building. Just keep moving and keep quiet. Very sharp.
Okay,
Now
let's see
relax,
here.
Channel your inner self-important douchebag.
Uh,
and waltz
we're gonna have to
right
go out
to
the other
front
way.
door. They're closing in on us. We need to pick
Oh.
up the pace. Security is sweeping the whole building. Stay
What
one
the
step
hell?
ahead.
The cameras-
This whole thing goes south.
Okay.
Time to change
Yeah,
outfits.
that's
We need a
weird.
fresh start if you're gonna make it out of here under the radar.
Go in the locker room. Yep. Good. Okay, here we go. I don't know what's that camera.
As long as you
I'm not
stay
careful.
calm, those outfits should get you from here to the exit. The cops aren't letting anybody through the perimeter, so you'll have to do that the
Okay, let's go.
old-fashioned way.
Yeah, they totally don't know the duffel bags we're carrying on our backs is full of what we just stole.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna probably leave.
He's supposed to be streaming Halo soon, so.
We could try to grab the helicopter, but it's not guaranteed to be there. But I typically don't like getting it, but we could try.
Might as well get it over and done with so we're not killing more time.
Stay away from the cops.
Yep.
You should avoid the bulk of the cops.
And how are we supposed to get through here without getting caught?
To your ride. Remember, they know the vault's been hit, but they don't know who you are or where you are. They have patrols sweeping the whole place, and all the civilians have been evacuated. So if they see you, they'll know it's you. So just stay out of their way, keep your cool, and get to the buyer.
Please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't.
Car in position. I've pinged you the GPS. Get to the buyer, don't bring the cops, and we're home free.
Ow. Hit him.
There's one. I want to know the chopper's up that way.
Okay, here we go.
Choppers are here. Cops are coming. Such a far run.
I'm going with you, folks. Never mind.
Yeah, Rodriguez got to him first. Following you guys.
Gonna get the helicopter, but it's Come on. Come on.
First fire. Need a bait.
I think better spawn here.
Yeah, there's spawn here.
If it's not gonna be here, it's gonna be a massive fail. This is why I don't typically go for the helicopters, though.
Yep.
And I'm caught.
Oh, it is here. Okay.
It's here. Yep.
Thank God.
It's here.
If I can hop up there, that'd be nice.
Okay.
Thing's being a pain.
If the buyer hears so much as a siren, this whole thing goes up in
Get in.
smoke.
Easy there, easy. I want to turn me into chop soup.
Okay, let's see here. How often do you stream? Because I would like help with the casino if you're willing to. I stream GT Online every Sunday, Eric.
Yeah,
thank you.
You do a heist with me. You will get done on the first try.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. And hello, professional. Love your content, and I got inspired by you a lot. I was thinking if you would like to do a podcast one day. Yeah, that'd be fine. Thank you, man.
Hey James, I believe this is the first official heist I've done with you.
Yeah, on the first try too.
Yeah, let's not jinx it though, but yeah, I'd say so. Hey Fernando, you owe some sheep tacos.
Yeah, sheep tacos for everyone.
Yeah, there's a sheep tacos. Yeah.
We're also still trying to convince DHC to stream Fall Guys again.
Hey, I know how you eyes, Fernando. Yeah, we only
here we
have
go.
we
We
only
got
have 2 pages of D and E.
Private equity. That's something even the IRS has trouble doing. But you strolled out of there carrying their crown jewels right under their noses. The ultimate humiliation. Oh, I've taken a whole lot of scores.
Yeah, cause those drinks behind. There you go.
Okay, good work, everyone. Yes, we'll be probably wrapping up the stream here, guys. But I'll answer a few questions before I go. So if you guys want to ask me anything, I'll answer your questions before.
Yeah, no.
Wait, we didn't get elite, did we?
Huh?
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah, it did. Oh, be aware the
I'm also a content creator. Also, some similar life experience you had. I appreciate your time, man. And thank you. Do you have a Twitter by any chance, Nikki? If you have a Twitter, follow me on that and or post on my latest tweet, and I'll follow you, and then you can message me on there if you want to ask me anything about your channel or anything like that. Oh, I gotta this here. Yeah, gotta watch out for that copyright there. I'm tired, but pro is on, so no time for sleep. Well, thank you, Roberto. I hope there is no futuristic stuff in the next one, too. Planning on watching Oppenheimer? Probably, yeah. Okay. I really hope they don't add futuristic vehicles to GTA 6. I agree. Yeah. Have you guys said anything in the chat? Has the chat stopped? Oh no. Oh, now it's going. Okay, it just started. It started working again for me. That's weird. No. Well, I do have Discord, but I don't really use it much, Nikki. But I'll check out your channel. Okay. I did subscribe to you. I'm telling you, I'm just looking at your channel right now. Yeah. Well, Nikki, I'm just looking at your channel right now, and I'm telling you that in the future, I think your channel is going to go in the right direction. I think your channel is going to go in the right place. And the reason I think that way is because when I look at your thumbnails are very well edited. I see your thumbnails are really, really well done. I see that, so I think that I think you'll do really well in the future. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, see here. Okay, thank you, Eric, for that super chat earlier also. Do you think Rockstar will update Red Dead Redemption 2 with 60 FPS? Yeah. I think well, not right now. Maybe they'll do an update in the future. But no, not anytime soon. I don't think so right now. Maybe when the Red Dead Remaster comes out, maybe they'll do it. 12 more likes to 400. Well, if you guys enjoyed the stream, do drop a like. If you guys enjoy the stream, help me get up to 400 likes. That would help me out a lot. But Nikki, I'm looking at your channel. The only thing I would say to change is on some of your videos, I'm seeing like a thumbnail GeForce RTX. I don't think people really need to know that. You know, because it does take up a huge chunk of the thumbnail. The 4K part is fine. The part 3 is fine. But what I would do is maybe make like a separate video showing like gameplay of like the GeForce. But no problem, Nikki. Glad I can help you out. I could when I get a chance. Vito, your favorite Applebee's order? I have never eaten at Applebee's, if you believe that. Okay. And wait, what's with your profile picture? What's that about too? And love from Bangladesh, bro. Love your personality. Thank you, man. Yeah, your profile picture. I was a bit confused by that. It looks a bit weird. I don't know what it's supposed to mean exactly. Yeah, that's just yeah, that's yeah. I just noticed the profile picture, but yeah. What's your video schedule for this week? I will probably be doing a SOCOM video tomorrow. Yeah. Well, look, I don't know, I don't know what, well, look, Nikki, what I will tell you is I don't know what the background is behind your profile picture, but I would seriously consider changing that, though. Because I don't know what the, yeah, yeah. I don't know what that's about. You should apply to be a community manager at Rockstar. Rockstar would never hire me. That would never happen. Yeah. My favorite Hitman game, Blood Money. Let me see here. I was trying to shorten the name. Is like CIA, FBI or something. What is it supposed to be shortened for, though? Could you leave us a motivational message before you go? Well, I will have a video, on me pissing off a scammer next week. And it's gonna be, I think people are gonna really enjoy it. And I'm gonna talk about, how to avoid these scams and, how you can avoid stuff like that. And it's gonna be me pissing off a scammer, so I think it'll put a lot of people in a good mood. But Nikki, does your thumbnail, does your profile picture, does that stand for something? Yeah, but... Look, I'll say change the profile picture, because that profile picture is messed up. I just realized that not too long ago. Feel kind of stupid now, but look, just change the profile picture on that. That's what I would say about that. I don't know if it stands for something or if you're implying something, but I would just say change it. Does it stand for something? Well, look, I would change your profile picture because that's pretty messed up, and a lot of people would think that that's racist too. So I would change that. Just change it to something else. Because I don't know if that stands for you gaming, if that's or if this is a troll, I don't know. But just change that because that's just Yeah, so apologies about that. I apologize for that, guys. I didn't notice the profile picture until later. So I don't know if it stands for you gaming or if you're being a troll with me, Nikki. But what I will say is change the profile picture because some people would see that as racist. Oh, nothing, Mario. No, there's just a profile picture that I just realized a little bit later on, and it was just I'm not. No. Yeah. It stands for gaming. I swear I'll change it. Well, look, even if you meant anything like just for gaming, I would change it because when people look at it, they're gonna, But I was saying you could get in trouble for YouTube, so just don't. I would just not keep that if I was you. Yeah, Manix is right. Yeah, the profile picture would also, hurt your channel. So that's what I would do. I would just create something creative and, don't have it like that. It's his profile. He can do what he wants. But I'm just saying is just my opinion. I'm just saying is to change that because people would interpret that as being racist. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not, you know, it's his profile. Yeah, it's his profile, but it's but that's just my view on it. No, I'm fine with that, but it's I'm fine with free speech. But I'm just saying is that people are gonna interpret that as being racist, and some people are gonna so that's what I would say is just change the profile picture when you get the chance, because it's just okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna read a few more comments and then I'm gonna head out here. I didn't mean any racism, I swear. I didn't want to use copy image. I want to create things on my own, that's why. Well, look, even if that just means that you're just, that you're gaming, I would just say is, look, and I'm trying to give you respectful advice on this also. I can see where I can understand to a degree on why it would stand for you gaming. What I'm saying is that probably best that you would change it, because, you know, people are gonna look at that and some people are gonna think that that's racist, and YouTube probably might not monetize you. So that's what I would say about that. No, I didn't realize it until I saw it a little bit later too, but it's well, look, if you're being sincere to Nikki, I would just say just change it. It's okay, that's, well, he's gonna change it, but it's his channel, but I'm just saying that ultimately that, you know, some people are gonna interpret that as being racist, and then, you know, you might get in trouble from YouTube, and you have a lot of videos on your channel that I see you worked on, and you might not want to yeah, that's what I'll say about that. Oh, Nick is gaming, but it's still, it's okay, well, what do you think of Patchy the Pirate from SpongeBob? I loved SpongeBob when I was a kid. Yeah, I think it means he's gaming, but like I said, it's the abbreviation. It's just okay. So it's ultimately your profile, if it's just an abbreviation of your name, because that is what your name is, but it's just, I would just personally change it if I was you, because you might have problems from YouTube. That's just it. I don't know if this is a troller, but it's, would you do another Red Dead Redemption 2 walkthrough professional? I could do it one day, yes. YouTube can flag profile pictures? Yes, they can. Well, you'll see the video. The scammer was trying to pull a cryptocurrency scam on me, but I really pissed them off and I annoyed them. I can replay the Mafia games when I get a chance, yes. It's meant for my name, no troll, I swear. Okay, well, look, Nick, this is what I'll just tell you, is just, it's your profile, you can do what you want on your profile, but I'm telling you that it's, that even if it's not anything bad that you're intending, it's just abbreviation of your name, it's just some people are going to interpret that in a different way, so that's why I'll personally not use that profile picture. What is it here? Do you watch any game shows for leisure? Not really, not much. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming other games because I just finished Vice City Stories 100%, so I'll try streaming other. I think I'll start streaming the Saboteur again. Angry Man Gamer. Okay, well, just remember the advice that I gave you, Nick. I'm not making things up. I'm just trying to give him advice, telling him that people might that it's a probably better idea to change its snake. We'll only upload that video next week. Do you think the government's going to take any action about Travis King? Possible. So far, he hasn't returned. He might be turned into a propaganda machine by the North Korean government. Yes, I heard about the Ubisoft situation. My boss was parked down the road. It's weird because at work he acts weird as well. If your boss is bothering you, I would report that to HR just so that you can get that on file. And if anything continues with your boss bothering you, you might want to get a lawyer because nobody should be experiencing that. I'm sorry that your boss is being weird like that to you. What game would you recommend then? I'm gonna be playing Max Payne 1 soon. Yeah, I'll for my streams, I'm gonna be doing the Saboteur, which is I'll probably continue 100% on that again. The video of me pissing off the scammer will be next week. Okay, Nick, and if that stands for your your channel because it is your gaming, but I'm just saying is that you just wanted my advice. I'm just telling you some people might interpret it differently. How did you piss him off? I wasted the scammer's time for 5 weeks. For 5 weeks, I wasted the scammer's time. I really pissed him off. Max Payne stream. I could do that possibly when I complete Max Payne 1. Yeah, but it's going to be a pretty long video. But I'm going to be heading out here, guys. Thank you guys for watching my stream. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you guys enjoyed the stream, if you guys did enjoy the stream, do drop a like. It does help me out a lot. But I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me.